5 option than being asked to be a number 2 option.
I teased before the break my one other thought about the Mavericks team building and all that. Jason Kidd said last night, because Cooper Flag got a big ovation when he was announced starting lineup. I've never heard a road player get a cheer like that, especially here in Boston. I think that annoyed a lot of Mavericks fans because they're like, what about Luka?
Oh, that's right.
Maybe he doesn't count, because that's not really a road player. that's a different thing. Yeah. But I want to ask you, Chris Gasper, before we wrap it up, taking the Tom Brady game out of it, because that's the obvious answer. The biggest ovation you've ever heard for a visiting player?
Oh, biggest ovation.
Because that might be it for me last night. I was at Johnny Damon's first game back in Boston. That was pretty significant.
Yeah, I was at that. Yep. He got some booze. I covered that.
But that one last night is up there for me. Maybe some of the Paul Pierce games coming back here.
Yeah, I was going to think Paul Pierce, KG. I'd say, what about Brad Marchand?
I was just thinking in person. I wasn't at that, but he got quite the... These are all guys that played here.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
don't know that I can think of one as a guy that didn't play here. It's fascinating to think about. But that's a quick Sports Hub Celtics show. Appreciate you.
How about Mariano Rivera?
That's a good one.
I think that's the one.
That's the one, right? After 2004. How about Mo Rivera?
Is it you and Jim back next week?
It is.
So Gasper and Murray back next week, full force. I will be back tomorrow morning. Sports Hub Sunday kickoff. We obviously have a ton to get to. First thing Chris said to me came is he apologized for taking an hour of football from me. If Tatum didn't come back, this hour would have been a free agency preview. We'll have plenty of time to do that tomorrow. Myself, Saron Battle, Ryan Garvin will be here as well. He was here pushing the buttons for the last hour. We got Bruins, though. Bruins at TD Garden. They are taking on the Washington Capitals. And Matt McCarthy will be back afterwards for more. For Chris Gasper and Ryan Garvin, I'm Alex Barth. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the Bees game. Enjoy your weekend. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning.
Boston, the home of the Celtics, Bruins, Rams, and Patriots. Boston's home for sports is 95. The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station.
This is Boston Bruins hockey. Boston Bruins hockey is brought to you by your local New England Honda dealers. Shaw's and Star Market, Safety Insurance, Town Fair Tire, Granite City Electric's GCE Night Train, Ticketmaster, your New England Ford dealers, Blue Sky Restoration Contractors, TD Bank, Service Credit Union, and by Catches Law.
2 seconds, 1 second, it's over. The Bruins have won the Stanley Cup.
And by Dairy Queen, Peerless Boilers, your New England Chevy dealers, Timber Tech Decking and Railing, Charles D. Sheehy,
Mass Mutual, Avidia Bank,
Wendy's, Live Nation, the Peterson School, Tito's Handmade Vodka, Big Y, Nicely Done, and by Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
After 39 long years, the Cup is back home. The Bruins are 2011 Stanley Cup champions.
Now, here's Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers.
From TD Garden, this is Boston Bruins hockey. This afternoon, after the Bruins essentially stood pat at yesterday's trade deadline, the race for a playoff spot resumes against a Washington Capitals team left stunned by the trade of longtime defenseman John Carlson. Great to have you with us. Alongside Bob Beers, I'm Ryan Johnston. Today's storylines brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers in the Chevy Silverado, where dependability comes standard. Well, yesterday's NHL trade deadline did not see as much activity around the league as some had predicted for the Bruins. Not a single trade that impacts the NHL roster coming into today.
I mean, Donnie Sweeney said Monday, that they were probably going to take a more conservative approach, but you know, if a deal was there, that they were going to try to take advantage of it and try to improve the team. You know, whatever the case was, it was definitely a seller's market. You know, I think that there were some high prices for some players out there. We'll see where it goes. You mentioned John Carlson from this Washington team. Another guy that went was Dowd.
Nick Dowd.
Nick Dowd is a kind of a heart and soul. I know he hadn't played as prominent a role maybe this year, but he's been a really good teammate, good player, good fourth liner, good checking center for a long time for this Capitals team. So they part with a couple really popular veterans in that lineup.
Yeah, I was talking to one of their broadcasters earlier, and he said 25 years of experience with this organization left in 24 hours. So, I mean, that's two big names leaving their roster. Well, yesterday, no additions, no subtractions for the Bruins NHL roster. A couple of deals to bring some players that will start in Providence. General Manager Don Sweeney spoke yesterday after the trade deadline about why the team didn't make a bigger splash and said their play coming out of the Olympic break didn't enter into his mindset.
I've been accused of misleading the press in terms of what I said the other day. There would be a cautious approach, and they certainly different from last year. And it was. Doesn't mean we didn't explore an awful lot of things, to be perfectly honest and truthful, because we would like to have continued to add to our group. It just didn't materialize. But you always feel calls and players that are available on other teams or potentially available in your own. Other GMs are doing their job as to what's, as I said, what's available, but also what teams are willing to explore. And in particular, you may be referring to Arvie and Andrew that are both pending UFAs. I was pretty consistent the other day that those guys have done a nice job. Arvie was arguably our best player last night, and I think the group deserves the opportunity to continue to forge forward.
I mean, he's pretty much said it all on the trade deadline, and you can agree, you can always agree or disagree with him, but we don't know the deals that are on the table. And but they did a pretty good. They did I'm not going to say a tear down. For their standards, a tear down last year at the deadline.
Sure.
For their standards, without taking away some of the nucleus, and it was some unpopular moves. Some popular players that had to be moved or were moved. Now, what do you do with them? And what do you do with the players that come in, the draft picks that come in? And that's going to be the important part moving forward. Now, whether you take one of those draft picks and use it in a trade, or whether you use all your draft picks and draft and develop, that's still going to be a couple years away until we know what that looks like, obviously. But you start to see the vision of it and still be a competitive team via free agency and a couple of other trades. They made good trade moves. Morgan Geekie, great trade move. They've had a couple of good free agent pickups. Trade move for Fraser Minton. Those seem to have worked out for them. Now it's a matter of, after they've traded all these picks over the last several years to try to go for it, now they have to replenish the cupboard, and now how do they develop them? And that's going to be the big challenge for them moving forward.
And, as for this year, now you got 21 games left on the schedule, and you start to focus on the team that you've got, which is the team that you had on Thursday.
Yeah, it's worth, yes, but I want to add one more thing that it's worth noting. The Bruins currently, on their current roster, 22, 23 players, only 4 are draft picks. Right? Pasternak and McAvoy are first rounders. You've got Swayman and Lohrei. Swayman's a 4th rounder and Lohrei's a 2nd rounder. And that kind of, they've traded away some of the guys who have made the team and played a little while, and then they've made moves. But you also traded a lot of draft picks for warm bodies to come in and try to help you in a playoff run. So this is what they're trying to recoup. They're trying to add to that number of homegrown players that can help them moving forward.
And they've got some ammunition to do that here over the next several drafts, certainly. We'll see kind of how all that plays out. Meanwhile, the Bruins coming off a loss in Nashville on Thursday night, 6-3 to an undermanned Predators team. Marco Sturm certainly not happy with his team's performance in that game.
I didn't like our mentality going in. It's always tough when the opponent missing or scratching guys. Seen it a lot of times before. It's not like we took it lightly, but they just, the guys who came in, they worked extremely hard, and they worked more than us, and that was the difference. It's a very hard league. You see teams who had success last year and look at them this year, all of a sudden they're sellers. You got to work your way in and out every night. I don't care who the opponent is. So, again, where we at right now, you got to expect a better. I'm not saying the effort was there. We just got to be smarter than that. And again, that's not our game to play 6 goals against game, especially a big game like today. That just can't happen.
I was of the belief that it was more mental than physical in that game. It really was. I just don't think that they were sharp. I thought they played like, at least from where we sat, that it was going to be an easy game, an easy out, because of the situation over on Nashville's side of things. Not only the players that they had traded, but Ryan O'Reilly, their best all-around player, sitting out of the game. And Bruins were never really mentally engaged in that game to where they needed to be. There were little pockets here and there, maybe, some individual performances here and there. But as a group, as a team, not anywhere near where they need to be. Yeah, the effort's there most nights. Some nights you're going to have the legs, and I thought the other night they just didn't have the head.
Well, coming into this game, 21 games left, so you're right about the 3-quarter mark of the season. Bruins have a 1-point lead on Columbus for the second wild card spot in the East. Ottawa, Washington, each 4 points back. Charlie McAvoy said, starting today, they have to up the intensity for the final quarter.
every game we play the rest of the way is the most important game of the year. Like, I don't know if we have that urgency yet, and we're going to play teams that have that urgency. We're going to play 2 of them in the next 2 games. Like, this team tonight is trying to make the playoffs. Like, we need to match that intensity. I don't know if it's something that we've talked about, and maybe that's shame on us. Every game the rest of the way is the most important. Like, if we're trying to do what this team is capable of doing, which is making the playoffs. So I think we've put ourselves in a great spot, and that's all that we could do.
Yeah, and you can't be looking over your shoulder either. I mean, Columbus is bearing down on you. They've played some really good hockey since the since the coaching change. They added one piece there in Connor Garland last game. They didn't trade their free agents away.
Right.
They've got some, Boone Jenner and Charlie Coyle. They kept those guys. It's not just the Bruins keeping guys. It's, I feel that they owe them a run here. So, opportunity for the Bruins, but you can't be looking over your shoulder. You've got to take care of your own business, and they have to play much better than they played in the 4 games since the Olympic break.
Some lineup notes today. Jeremy Swayman will get the start in goal. Jonathan Aspero missed Thursday's game with an illness. He'll be back in tonight. Jordan Harris comes out. And up front, Alex Steeves will draw back in for the first time since the Olympic break in place of Mikey Asima. Here's what's on deck, brought to you by TimberTech Decking and Railing, #1 in premium decking. Order free samples at TimberTech.com. We'll go around the NHL, including the Sabres making some additions at the deadline.
We wanted to reward the group as well to show them that we have that faith and we want to help them.
I'll chat with Marco Sturm.
I already told our guys it's going to be our net front versus their net front. And who's going to win that battle? I think I was going to have a huge advantage.
And up next, we'll talk about the Washington Capitals here on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. It's time for powerful performance. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, or CR-V. Hurry into your Honda dealer today.
Hi, it's Jason Todd from Blue Sky Restoration. All hockey season, Blue Sky is restoring historic garden moments on the ice. Tune in to today's game on the Bruins Radio Network to hear this date in history, restored by Blue Sky. And remember, if you have a property disaster, visit goblusky.com, restoring your property and your life for a brighter tomorrow.
Hi, this is Andrew Peak. I'm excited to be teaming up with the Shaws and Star Market Foundation and 98.5 The Sports Hub for Feeding the Puck for Families. Every time me or one of my teammates feeds the puck this season to help score a goal, the Shaws and Star Market Foundation Nourishing Neighbors Initiative will donate $100 to help end hunger here in our local communities. Since its inception, Nourishing Neighbors has raised more than $250 million across the country to ensure our neighbors have the nutrition needed to thrive locally. Every time we feed the puck for a goal, the Shaws and Star Market Foundation will make a donation of $100 to the Greater Boston Food Bank to help end hunger up to $50,000. To learn more about feeding the puck for families, visit 985thesportshub.com/feedthepuck.
Hi, I'm David Morales, General Manager of WellPoint in Massachusetts. We're proud to continue our partnership with 98.5 The Sports Hub and the Hometown Heroes program, honoring the everyday heroes who work tirelessly to make our community stronger and healthier. From first responders to community leaders, these individuals deserve our recognition and gratitude. Now we want to hear from you. Head to 985thesportshub.com/heroes and nominate a hometown hero today.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. It's time for powerful performance. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, or CR-V. Hurry into your Honda dealer today.
Your hot takes on the Sports Hub.
5 seconds left. Dubois dumps in. Utah will get there. Cole protecting it on the end board. And the Utah Mammoth have come into Washington and won in regulation. A tough defeat for the Capitals.
Bruins will take on the Washington Capitals here this afternoon at TD Garden. Caps 4 points behind the Bruins for a playoff spot. Bruins have 2 games in hand on them coming into the day. And their organization made a major move early Friday, trading longtime defenseman John Carlson to Anaheim for a first-rounder and a third-rounder. Here's Caps GM Chris Patrick on making the difficult decision to part ways with Carlson after 17 seasons.
Really hard call. Very emotional, obviously, for the team, for management, for John, for his family. But with where we were, where we are in the standings, and an opportunity to get some good assets for the future, it felt like the prudent thing to do.
can't be an easy decision. John Carlson's given a lot to them, and I mean, he's been an outstanding defenseman for a lot of years here with this Capitals team. Of course, the Stanley Cup for them, and I heard someone talking about how many. I have not seen a stat on it, but I'm curious how many assists John Carlson had on Alex Ovechkin's power play goals. Not just power play goals, but all goals. But he was running the top of the power play, and with Ovechkin letting shots fly from that left wing circle, how many times over the years Carlson was the guy that quarterbacking that power play. Well, not only him, Nicholas Backstrom over on that right side as well. But he just how reliable and kind of quiet he was as a player. There's not a lot of rah-rah, at least from the outside looking in, but just a quiet leader that came and did his job every day, and had a couple of injury scares a couple of years ago, but that's a hard guy to see leave the room, along with Nick Dowd, and so to a lesser extent in terms of the impactful player that he was, but still made a major impact, as a checking centerman who took a lot of important face-offs and played against the team's top lines there for a little while when he was at the top of his game and the Capitals were at the top of their game.
Does it feel similar to you to where the Bruins were a year ago, particularly with a guy like Brad Marchand, to say, heart and soul guy, but we've got to move on and start preparing for the future?
Yeah, especially if you're not going to come to that contract extension. There was nothing. You wonder, and I'm almost positive it has to be the case. Did management go to him and I'm talking about Carlson, and talk to him about a contract extension, and if they weren't close on that contract extension, then we have to make a move, right? You would expect that happened. You're not just going to call him in the middle of the night while he's sleeping and say you're gone without any heads up,
right?
So we had to have some inkling of it, even though he's probably shocked it happened. Hey, Mikko Rantanen, from Colorado Avalanche, they talked to him about a new contract. It wasn't going to work. They traded him. It's I know different levels right now of age and everything else, and Carlson's 37 and Rantanen's in the prime of his career, but it's still, and Marchand was 36, 37, and they had to make that difficult decision. Bruins certainly weren't going to give him 6 years,
right?
Like the Florida Panthers did. So hard decisions sometimes, and this one was definitely one of them, I'm sure.
Well, the other thing that brings up is, what does it mean potentially for the future of Alexander Ovechkin, who doesn't, he's not under contract for next season. Obviously, they weren't going to move him at the deadline, but
not much leaking there. We talked to some people, including Donnie Sweeney earlier in an interview that you'll hear in between the first and second period. He referenced the stuff that got out here during the trade deadline, not so much with his team, but especially the St. Louis Blues, and how Doug Armstrong not happy about it. A lot of people are not happy about it, but it's been pretty tight-lipped here from the Capital side.
So the Bruins get ready to take on a Washington Capitals team coming off of those two big moves that they made here over the last couple of days. We will check out the injury report for today's game when we return here on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
The game is on. The crew's here, and the snack spread from Big Y, oh, it's a thing of beauty. Wings that sauce the competition, platters that get major play, hand-tossed pizzas for the whole team, and that impressive 30-inch super sub. Shout out to the experts at Big Y for the assist. Are they cheering for the game or for your snacks? My question exactly, sports fans. Big Y. Nicely done.
Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes you from smooth sailing to Chevy Colorado will eat up some of the toughest terrains with 5 available drive modes. And Silverado and Silverado HD have the muscle to take you out for some serious with multiple engine options and impressive towing. While Silverado EV is the perfect combo of performance and capability, making it a snap to hitch up this electric truck and hit the road. Wherever the road leads, Chevy trucks are right there with you. Visit your New England Chevy dealers.
Big on flavor, big on comfort, and big on value. The 99 Restaurant's $14.99 Big Deal Meals are now available every day, all day. So hurry in today or every day for our juicy chopped sirloin. You've gotta love the 9s.
Naz here from Window Nation. Spring weather, unpredictable. In fact, you never know which way you'll be adjusting your thermostat unless you have the right windows. With Window Nation, you can count on your home being comfortable regardless of the weather. Their windows are customizable and energy efficient. Expert installations take just 1 day, and Window Nation products are backed by a lifetime warranty. There is no better time to upgrade than right now with Window Nation. In March, the more you buy, the more you could save, up to 50% off all window styles. Visit windownation.com for your free consultation. Do it today. Did you know Scrub-A-Dub Unlimited lets you wash anytime you want? The all-new Scrub-A-Dub Bedford is now open off Mystic Ave.
Anytime's a good time to be Scrub-A-Dub clean.
Hit 985thesportshub.com.
Here's today's Catches Law injury report. Jonathan Aspero gets back into the lineup after missing Thursday's game with an illness. No significant injuries right now for the Bruins roster. Injury report brought to you by Catches Law, the official law firm of the Boston Bruins. They won over $3 billion for their clients. When you're injured and can't work, turn to Catches Law. There's no fee unless you win. Go to catcheslaw.com. Schedule your free consultation today. We'll take a look around the NHL next here on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
Hey, it's Sean Flaherty, managing partner at Catches Law Group. There's something about Bruins hockey, toughness, tradition, and pride that runs deep in New England. That same mindset is how Catches Law Group was built for over 40 years. We've been this region's hometown law firm, fighting for our neighbors and recovering over $3 billion for the people who count on us. We are real trial lawyers who deliver real results. Because when the pressure's on, you need a team built to battle. Visit catcheslaw.com to schedule your free consultation today.
When it's really cold, you'll feel it in your bones. And your house will feel it in its pipes. Of course, if your pipes burst, you're going to feel it in your wallet, too. That's why Safety Insurance offers discounts to Massachusetts and New Hampshire homeowners if you have water leak devices or freeze detection systems. It's smart to think safety first. Ask an independent agent about Safety Insurance. We'll help you manage life storms.
The sun is out, the birds are chirping, and the open road is calling. Bring on the spring at the Honda Spring Event and take that road trip you've been dreaming of. Now's the time to check out the Honda Civic and HR-V from Honda, the 2025 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value Brand.
Based on 2025 Consumer Choice Awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit kbb.com for more information.
The Peterson School is now hiring for new instructors at all locations.
Hi, I'm Adam Norcott, an electrical instructor at the Peterson School. I've learned so much from my students and their experiences, and it's made me a better teacher, foreman, and electrician.
Visit petersonschool.com.
Hey, it's Charlie McAvoy. I love working with Service Credit Union because I believe in their mission to support the health, safety, and financial well-being of first responders. They put people before profits, and this season, Service Credit Union is giving back in a big way through our 73 Reasons campaign, donating $200 for every block shot and $1,000 for every shutout, up to $250,000. Service Credit Union, success built on trust, banking built on service. Join the team and learn more at servicecu.org.
Zoe and Beetle, middays on the Sports Hub.
Bruins and Capitals coming up from TD Garden. Quick check around the NHL. We'll look at some of the deals made during the trade deadline. Columbus trying to track down the Bruins for a playoff spot. Their GM, Don Waddell, picked up Connor Garland from Vancouver.
I know this year they've been down, but you got to look at the situation also, which we've done. We've studied them hard. We've scouted them hard. We think in our environment with the players he's going to have that opportunity to play with, that he will come back to be that 20-goal scorer that he's been in the past.
Yeah, I think he's going to help him. I'd be shocked if he didn't. He's a good player, plays hard in the playoffs. They got to make the playoffs, obviously, but hard to play against guy. Not a very big guy, but can definitely put the puck in the net and be a tough guy to play against.
Well, the Buffalo Sabres did not land Colton Parayko, but their GM, Jarmo Kekalainen, made a number of other moves to bolster his roster.
We have a lot of faith in this group. The way they've been playing, the way they're competing, the way they're having fun. So we wanted to reward the group as well to show them that we have that faith and we want to help them.
Yeah, I think they beefed up, right? I mean, two big defensemen. with Shen's department, he's a little bit of a journeyman, but can help a team. He's always at the deadline going somewhere. And Stanley's a big guy on that back end, but he also had Carrick up front, some snarl up front.
Islanders added Braden Shen from St. Louis. Here's Isles GM Matthew Darsh.
The guys, the players have done a great job putting us in the position, being in the playoffs. We want to help them with the final push. So we looked at a bunch of things. Braden's always a guy, like, he's got, we always said we want to be hard to play against. We had to have some snarl, and Braden fits that.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a theme right now, especially, some of these teams around the Bruins and what they're doing, and the Islanders are certainly one of them.
And Steve Yzerman in Detroit added Justin Falk on the back end.
Ultimately, we'll see how this thing shakes out, but in acquiring a guy that's played in the top four, played in all situations, solidifies our decor a little bit.
And then quickly, Avs added Nazem Kadri and Nick Waugh.
Yeah, Kadri's second bit in Colorado, won the Stanley Cup with them, so he's the third-line center. Nick Waugh will be the fourth-line center. They're strong down the middle.
It's a strong team getting stronger. Bruins and the Capitals coming up. We'll hear from Marco Sturm next here on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
Miller time. It only happens if you make it happen. So say hello with some beers. Make the plans. Live a little. Because legendary moments start with a light. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2026 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Mike Rowe here with a random fact. More than half of the homes that have basements in North America will experience water damage. It's true. Whether it's basement moisture, flooding, or bowing walls, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys. They're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Busy Dog Basement Technologies is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Why drive when you can ski, ride, or chew? So close to home at Neshoba Valley Ski Area, just off 495 in Westford, Mass. Great value and so close to home. Purchase ski and snow tubing tickets online now at skineshoba.com.
You know it's coming.
We can't even sit out here.
This season, guys, don't wait for it. Just fix it. Call Mosquito Mike. With locations across Massachusetts and Rhode Island, locally owned Mosquito Mike provides consistent, reliable mosquito and tick service done right. All backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Prepay for the season and get one treatment free with coupon code SPORTSHUB. So this year, don't wait for...
Ugh, I'm going inside.
Instead, remember, for bites you don't like, call Mosquito Mike. 844-750-MIKE.
Advance your career with an MBA or specialized master's through Babson College. Join this poll ranked #2 best college in the U.S. by the Wall Street Journal 2025. Visit babson.edu/grad programs.
Oh boy, it's the spring sale at Reed's Ferry Sheds. 10% off every Reed's Ferry Shed this week. Delivery and installation included, but you want to order now for an early spring delivery date because 10% off ends April 12th. So pop into Reed's, open today till 5. See 16 acres of sheds on display or order online at reedsferry.com. For sale details, make the call.
Call 888-85-SHEDS.
A Reed's Ferry Shed, 10% off. You got a good one.
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
Our pregame interview with Marco Sturm is brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. Bruins and the Washington Capitals coming up, joined by Bruins head coach Marco Sturm. Before we get to today's game and the last game and all of that, trade deadline yesterday, no impact to your roster one way or the other. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I just said it. It's that means we did a lot of good things. We were not sellers and we're not buyers. We're staying put. I think that didn't happen for a long time here in this organization. Maybe something new, but we have a lot of trust in our guys here to get the job done. And hopefully everyone can relax now. More players than others, but no. We feel very comfortable. We're in a good spot right now, and try to do our best to compete every night.
We spoke the other day about kind of players leading up to the trade deadline and trying to put that out of their mind. Now that it's over, 21 games to go, about a quarter of the season. You guys know the mission now. Does that help kind of refocus everyone? Do you think?
Yeah, no. Again, everyone is a little different. Everyone. I don't know how players think these days anymore, I'll be honest. But no, I didn't really see much affecting, the deadline, the way we play. Guys been pretty solid all year long. They give me everything they have every night. Last game, 20 minutes. I don't think it was the deadline. So, but anyway, it's just, I think it's a positive. I think it's a very good positive to see. We trust those guys, and we're very happy the way they've been performing all year long. So I think it's a good thing. And, we try to build something here. We don't forget that. We try to build something here. The organization started last deadline, get rid of a lot of guys, coming guys in, draft picks, carried over, and now we're just going to continue to the plan.
Well, last time out, you guys lose in Nashville the other night. What went wrong in that game, particularly in the second period?
Yeah, no, it just, I felt like we just played the game instead of playing the game to our identity and to our structure, and we just got away from it. In every area, we were just not sharp. Could be a little bit of goaltending, could be special teams, the 5-on-5. So every area has just we're not focused there in the second period, and it's a hard league. They make you pay, and all of a sudden you're down, and now you're chasing. So again, we are not want to do that. We are a good team when we have the lead, so that has to change.
Yeah, I know you got the power play goal from Geeks the other night, which is good to see, but the first power play unit particularly hasn't quite been there since the Olympic break. Is there anything you do to help kickstart that?
Yeah, no, it's we try to help them by video, by talking to them, by showing them a lot of things. But at the end of the day, it's always up to the players, and they have to, they have to willing to do that, and they always, they have to trust us. It's almost like having a good relationship, and they've been all year. They've been really, really good. They always had a good response. Even we had small little hiccups. So right now, we need them again, because that's just the way we are built. We trust our 5-on-5, but can we get it done again on the power play? PK has been a lot better. We feel very, very good about that. So power play is huge. So our top guys need to be our top guys, coming down the stretch.
In that same vein, Pasta's been pretty quiet offensively here in the last few games. Is there a way to kind of open things up for him a little bit more, or is it just up to him to find it?
Yeah, both. I mean, again, he needs offensively, he just needs to, needs to be a little bit more involved and not just, play on the outside. I think he needs just to be more a threat, not just a passer, as a shooter too. And the other thing, his skill would just take over automatically. So I think there's sometimes you just, with those kind of guys, you need almost like you need a game to get things going again, and hopefully that's a good game for him. So because he's a streaky guy, one good game could carry us for a whole month, so you never know.
Well, today you guys get the Washington Capitals. I haven't seen them since opening night, so a lot of changes since then for both teams. So what do you expect this game to look like?
Yeah, hard compete game. This is a heavy team too. They have some good physical presence. It's going to be, I already told our guys it's going to be our net front versus their net front. And who's going to win that battle, I think is going to have a huge advantage. But we got to make sure we're going to tighten it up a little bit, much better than last game, and continue to be very strong at home.
Appreciate the time as always. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bruins head coach Marco Stern. They take on the Capitals next. Yesterday's trade deadline came and went, and while the Bruins were relatively quiet, GM Don Sweeney is committed to his current direction.
We have to continue to build it. We have to get, continue to make better decisions. That involves the draft. That involves, if we are going to move a player, seeing where the marketplace goes at the end of the year before the draft and then free agency. That's what we're committed to.
Now the Bruins know what team they'll have going forward, and they turn their attention to a Washington team still in the playoff hunt despite yesterday's moves. The Bruins and the Capitals, coming up next.
This is Boston Bruins hockey.
Across to Esposito, shot. Oh!
Bang! Yeah, Neely, wow.
Nathan Horton wins Game 7 in overtime. Geeky scores.
And there is point number 100 for Pasta and goal number 30 for Morgan Geeky.
Boston Bruins hockey is brought to you by your local New England Honda dealers, Shaw's and Star Market, Safety Insurance, Town Fair Tire, Granite City Electric's GCE Night Train, Ticketmaster, your New England Ford dealers, Blue Sky Restoration Contractors, Service Credit Union, TD Bank, and by Catches Law.
Backhand, it'll save Thomas. Swayman made a great stop at the far post.
And by Dairy Queen, Peerless Boilers, your New England Chevy dealers, Timber Tech Decking and Railing, Charles D. Sheehy, Mass Mutual, Avidia Bank, Wendy's, Live Nation, The Peterson School, Tito's Handmade Vodka, Big Y, Nicely Done, and by Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Back to Orr. Put in. His 100th point. Backhand score on a penalty shot for Raymond Gordon.
David Pasternak calls game, and the Bruins win it 2-1. Bergeron! Bergeron! And the Bruins win the series!
Now, here's Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers.
And we're here at TD Garden for the Bruins and the Washington Capitals. Boston has won 11 in a row here on home ice. Coming off a loss on the road, how do they bounce back?
Well, they got to be confident playing here on home ice, first of all. And they haven't played great. We've talked about it. It's been talked about a lot since coming back from the Olympic break. But they have managed to get 4 points out of 4 here at home. You got a team that's chasing you, albeit a team that made a couple of changes because you've got games in hand on them. Got rid of a couple popular players in the Capitals, but I think a little bit more between the years coming off the Nashville game especially. You know, they want to play with pace, but they've got to play smart as well. The effort is usually there. Now it's got to be the intelligence in the way they want to play this. You don't want your goalie to have to steal you a game every game. And as Don Sweeney said earlier, it's the 2 wins that they've had since the Olympic break. Their goaltenders have been their best players.
Keys to the game are brought to you by Town Fair Tire. For the guaranteed lowest prices on tires, go to Town Fair Tire because nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Face-Off is coming up on the 98.5, the Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
Here's another key to why nobody does it like Town Fair Tire. Lifetime road hazard guarantee. For as long as you own the tires, if a tire loses air or goes flat, Town Fair Tire will fix it. Go to townfairtire.com to see more key reasons why nobody does it like Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Hey, it's Patrice Bergeron. Every great play starts with an assist. That's why Avidia Bank and I are taking assists for kids beyond the rink. For every Boston assist, Avidia Bank donates $75 up to $30,000 to provide $150 max saving accounts for local kids. And Franklin Sports is donating $7,000 in street hockey equipment, giving us $37,000 to help kids get out and play. Because every kid deserves the chance to play and fall in love with the game, just like I did. I'm proud to team with Avidia Bank and Franklin Sports for assists for kids. Learn more at avidiabank.com/Team Bergeron. Avidia Bank, honest to goodness. Member of the IC, member DIF.
It's Truck Month with the Ford Crew.
Care for a Truck Month trivia contest, Sam?
Oh, you know I can't resist, Hank.
Okay, fact. Truck Month happens only once a year.
Fact. It's the best time to buy a new Ford truck.
Fact. Ford F-Series is the best-selling lineup of trucks in America for 49 years.
Fact. America loves Ford Truck Month.
Fact. I agree with that fact.
Based on 1977 to 2025 CY industry reported total sales.
Now at Wendy's, you can go big, biggie, or biggier. With our new $4, $6, or $8 meal, you choose your deal, as you should. Sorry, I get fired up when I'm talking deals. More biggie options, more of what you really want at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Felger and Maz, afternoons on the Sports Hub.
Back here at TD Garden for the second of 3 meetings on the year between the Bruins and the Washington Capitals. Bruins played the Caps in Washington on opening night this year. Haven't seen them since. They will meet again a week from today down in the nation's capital as well. Let's get today's national anthem presented by Mass Mutual. Planning and protection on and off the ice. We take you down to ice level and Todd Angelou.
Now super activated with a 4-hyaluronic acid system to deliver 27 times more hyaluronic acid 8 layers into the skin. 1 hour skin barrier repair. Replump skin. Visible wrinkle correction. Discover new Hyalur B5 cream. 72-hour intense hydration. 88% soft, firmer skin. Hyalur B5 Sur-activated serum and cream. La Roche-Posay.
Through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watch, who were so gallantly streaming,
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Todd Angley with the national anthem. We get set for the Bruins and the Capitals here this afternoon. Let's take a look at our starting lineups. In goal for Washington is Logan Thompson. On defense, the pairing of Jacob Chikrin and Trevor Van Riemsdyk. And up front, Connor McMichael, Justin Sordev, and Ryan Leonard. For the Bruins, they'll go with Jeremy Swayman in goal, Hampus Lindholm, Mason Lohrei, your defenseman. And up front, the line of Alex Steeves, Fraser Mitten, and Morgan Geekie. Starting lineup is brought to you by Big Y. Nicely done.
First 5 minutes of today's game are presented by your New England Ford dealers. Today's New England Ford dealers' first 5 contestant of the game is Stephen Disher of Braintree, Massachusetts. If the Bruins score in the first 5 minutes, Stephen will win a pair of tickets to a future Bruins game. Courtesy of the New England Ford dealers. Enter the contest at 98.5 The Sport.
Grainger knows that if you're a school custodian, cleanliness is your top priority. That's why you can rely on Grainger for a range of cleaning products and equipment, from disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Out into neutral ice.
Yeah, Lohrei joins the rush that time, making a 4-man rush, and it gets that pass cross ice, right wing over the left wing. Bruins are going to run the power play here.
Hampus Lindholm taken down inside the Boston zone. Puck dumped in by Lohrei. Will be handled by the Capitals and draw the whistle.
Not a good penalty by Sordev. I mean, it's nothing going on, and Lindholm had already moved the puck, and it's 200 feet from your net. You trip him up and below the goal line, and really no argument from him going to the box.
So just 43 seconds in, and Boston will get a chance on the power play. They did have a power play goal the other night from Morgan Geekie. 2 out of 13 coming out of the Olympic break over the last 4 games, and this top power play unit has struggled to find itself here lately. Elias Lindholm wins the face-off. They quickly get it back to McAvoy. He'll give it to his right to Pasternak. Got a attempt, got blocked wide of the net, kick back out in front, and Zacha with a chance at it. Now McAvoy gives to Pasternak. McAvoy center of the blue line. Past again right circle. Throws one in front. That one kicked off the leg of Faravari and out to center ice.
Faravari with 2 blocks, right? One on the shot, one on the pass on Pasternak.
Pasternak gets it right back in on the attack here to Zacha. Gives it back to Zacha again, near circle. Back to Pasta for a one-timer. And Logan Thompson squeezes the pads together and covers that puck.
Yeah, more active. They're putting the puck in Pasternak's hands. They want to get him going. He's been a little bit off here since coming back from the Olympics. You know that he can get going quickly. Marco Stern referred to him as he can be streaky, but when he's on his game, he's such an impactful player. But a couple of one-shot block, the pass block, and then he gets the one-timer away. But certainly looking for him.
First time this season, Pasternak has gone without a point in 3 straight games. As McAvoy will play it down deep here to Zacha. Back into the corner for Pasternak. Back to McAvoy. Had a lunge to keep that in, but does. Gets it on to Elias Lindholm. Pasternak along the half wall near side. Played for Zacha, but it was tipped in behind the net by Van Riemsdyk. Zacha digging for it back there. Couldn't get to it. And the Capitals will move it out. Lobbed ahead by Rasmus Sandin. 58 seconds to go on the power play. McAvoy starts out of the Boston zone. Comes to his own blue line. Drops it back. Victor Arvidsson just on. Will take it from there. Carries through center ice. Left wing pass got cut off by Connor McMichael. And back down into Bruins territory it goes. Swayman steers it around toward the near side to Minton and back around to the far side now for Mason Lohrei. 35 to go on the power play. Lohrei will carry out towards center ice and sends the delay pass back to Minton.
Little different look on this second power play unit. No Hampus Lindholm. They're going to go with 4 forwards with Steeves back in the lineup here.
And Roy will wrap around the far side here for the Capitals, and it jumped off the glass and got through Middlestat. Steves will fire it right back in deep all the way around the far side, but tipped out of the zone again. 10 to go on the power play, and the Bruins have to chase all the way back.
Just the one shot there by Pastrnak on the one-timer from the right wing circle.
Arvidsson through neutral ice, gets it at Minton, chips it into the left wing corner. Capitals are back at full strength. Puck behind the net. Chychrun will wrap it up the near side boards. Taken off the wall and sort of coming toward the slot in his own zone. Harassed from behind by Steves all the way out to the red line. Sends a dipper in on goal from there, forcing Swayman to make the play on it. Zadorov starts out of the far corner. Pass up ice here for Jeannot. Dumps in, and Thompson will tee it up at the side of the Caps net. Just over 3 minutes gone here in this first period. We're scoreless. Ovillier moves it off to the right side. Been by Chisholm. Peak to Zadorov, and an outlet pass that missed Kastelik, and that'll turn into a Bruins icing.
Kind of a hope play, kind of a blind pass. He's just turning and firing it up that right wing. Yeah, not much going on the power play. I was wondering if they make a change there with that second unit. You know, they were playing two defensemen with Lindholm and Lohrei. It looked like Lohrei was a little lost in the sense that he's a defenseman, but they had him kind of playing up the ice. He's not involved in the rush at all. Now, lone defenseman, he can be a little bit more involved in the rush.
Yeah, you had mentioned that during the game in Nashville the other night.
A little unconventional how they have him on that, trying to incorporate him on that second power play, but that's a different look for him today.
Corrali picks up a free puck in the neutral zone here and dumps it all the way around the Capital zone, but it'll spin back out the other side. Jeannot trying to play it back in. That was blocked. Jonathan Aspero back after a one-game absence. Did not make the trip to Nashville because he was under the weather. McAvoy dumps one in from the neutral zone, and that'll be scooped up by Thompson. He hangs on to it. The face-off will be inside the Capital zone here with 16:08 to go in this first period.
Yeah, you know, you look at the standings, and people make a lot of the Columbus Blue Jackets right behind the Bruins by a point. Very true. Washington, a few points back. But you've got teams that are right in front of you right now. Pittsburgh, Islanders. You got 2 games out on the Islanders in hand, and you're only 2 points behind them. Montreal.
Off the face-off, McAvoy's got it at the right point.
It's a good setup there, but Kusadinov kind of fumbled that pass for McAvoy. They had Pastrnak in the high slot looking for the one-timer.
McAvoy gets it from Pasta here, coming towards center ice, gives it back to him on the right side, but couldn't gain entry. Boy, got a stick in on him. Now Thompson in behind the net for the Capitals, hands it off back there. Out of the zone they come. Roy, they work it near side, and it's Protas with a shot that goes wide of Swayman. Ricochets around the far side. Roy at that far point. Over to the near side. Ferravari with a drive that goes off the end boards and around that far side. Roy gets it back deep. McAvoy coming behind the net. Able to hold it up back there. Elias Lindholm gets a stick in there, but then he gets tangled up. Comes back to Ferravari at the near point. Over to that far side. Roy gets knocked down by Husnadinov. Forced that puck out of the zone. He's trying to get it moving forward as Pastrnak was headed through the neutral zone.
Linesman couldn't get out of the way. They were trying to move that. Husnadinov was.
The team's resetting here and getting some fresh bodies on. Lifted into the Bruins zone by Chychrun. Gloved out of the air by Swayman, and he hangs on to it. 5:02 gone in the first.
Yeah, Chychrun's an interesting player. 22 goals on the season for Chychrun as a defenseman. Offensively, very good. Big, strong guy. And, you know, he's bounced around on a couple of teams. It just did not work out for him in Ottawa.
He was one of those guys that his name just always seemed to come up as a potential trade possibility. He was a guy that Boston was always kicking the tires on, it felt like.
His reputation, and, you know, do we watch him enough? No, you don't see him every game, but it just, sometimes the defensive reads aren't quite there.
Ovechkin tried to get it in front. It ricochets back out toward Van Riemsdyk, who let it go, and Dylan Strome played it down toward the corner.
Would have been a hand pass if he played it.
On that far side wall, Zacha and Lohrei. Puck will ricochet out toward center ice, and Arvidsson leaves it for Lohrei coming toward the near side, but he'll turn back away from Strome. Now Hampus Lindholm to Zacha. His pass looking for Middlestat. It hit Arvidsson in the skate instead as he came to the attacking blue line. Now Beauvillier along the near boards for the Capitals. Tosses it deep. Heads off on a change. Lohrei under some pressure in the near corner from Leonard. They move it up ice, out towards center, and Sandin will send it off the far boards, and Leonard back into the Bruins zone. His pass picked off by Zacha, but lost it right back to Sorted. His shot was blocked. Near sidewall. It'll come toward the blue line, but not out. Back over to that far side. Lori gets a stick in there before Leonard does. Middlestack to Hampus Lindholm, and ahead for Arvidsson, tipped ahead, and the Bruins go for a change.
Sloppy by the Bruins trying to come up the ice out of their zone.
Leonard coming right back in and puts a shot wide on the stick side of Swayman. McAvoy will start the Bruins out. Coming through the red line, in across the Washington blue. Pass for Minton, trying to find the handle on it. McAvoy collides and goes down. And back come the Capitals in a hurry. Sort of along that right wing circle. Drops one off, and a shot wide on the net by Duhaime. Duhaime turns and fires off the near boards and gets that one in on Swayman. Lobbed out of the zone now by McAvoy. Bouncing puck near the Capitals blue line. Washington controls. Duhaime going to get it right back into the Boston zone. Centering pass broken up, and Steves turns right back up ice. Right wing side, he's got Corrali coming forward. Trying to get around Faravari. Takes a hit in the near corner from him. Kicking at that puck in the corner is LaPierre as well. Puck pulled back in behind the net. Jeannot putting the pressure on. Now Corrali involved as well. Jeannot will come away with it. Toward the far side circle. Back to Zadorov at the point. Throws a shot toward the net. Ricochet around in front. Kastelik banging away at that far post. And it's steered off to the far wall. Lifted out to the blue line and just out of the zone. 7.5 gone by here in this first period. Jeannot brings the Bruins back on the attack. Down the right wing circle. Goes around behind the net. Trying to backhand in front. Corrali pokes it toward the near corner. Tom Wilson got it up the wall. And it'll be carried forward here by Alexei Protas. Tossed into the Bruins zone, and a penalty coming up.
Going to give it to Zadorov for holding, I believe, on Dubois.
So the Bruins will be shorthanded for the first time in this first period. No score, 12-11 left in the first. Here on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
The game is on, and the snacks from Big Y? Oh, yeah. Freshly made wings, platters, pizzas, and 30-inch super subs. Big Y makes the crowd go wild. Big Y, nicely done.
Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes you from smooth sailing to Chevy Colorado will eat up some of the toughest terrains with 5 available drive modes. And Silverado and Silverado HD have the muscle to take you out for some serious. With multiple engine options and impressive towing, while Silverado EV is the perfect combo of performance and capability. Nice. Making it a snap to hitch up this electric truck and hit the road. Wherever the road leads, Chevy trucks are right there with you. Visit your New England Chevy dealers.
Anytime, any day, it's a great time to clean it your way. Anytime's a good time to be Scrub-A-Dub-Clean.
Scrub-A-Dub's unlimited car wash plan lets you wash anytime for one low monthly price. Wash every day or every week. Your car will always be Scrub-A-Dub clean.
Anytime, anytime's a good time to be Scrub-A-Dub-Clean.
Get to Parmekian Jewelers' Wedding Band event going on now. It's the largest selection of wedding bands, and they're all on sale at the absolute best prices. Do not miss this chance to save. That's Parmekian Jewelers, Boston, Framingham, and Nashua, also at parmekian.com.
The Pats play on the Sports Hub.
The first 5 minutes of today's game were brought to you by your New England Ford dealers, America's best-selling trucks for 49 years. 12-11 to go here in the first period. Bruins had an early power play chance, but not capitalize, and now Washington will get one as Zadorov sent to the box for interference. Bruins were shorthanded 5 times against Nashville the other night. Killed off 4 of those, now 11 out of 12 in the 4 games since the break. They had only been shorthanded 7 times in the first 3 games. That was certainly a step in the right direction. We're a team that's been shorthanded more than any other in the National Hockey League this year. So off this face-off, good chance against Swayman along that far post, but now cleared all the way down by Hampus Lindholm. Chychrun will start it out of the Washington zone. Lindstrom carries to the Boston line, gets knocked down by Lindholm. Loose puck from Swayman to McAvoy, and he'll get the clear. Chikrin comes back and collects it from Thompson. Brings it back into neutral ice. Leonard able to slip through on the right side. Wraps around near side. McAvoy gets to it in front of Ovechkin. Husnedinov will clear that out. Minute 18 to go on the power play for Washington. Ranked near the bottom of the league in this category. 28th coming into the day. There's a turnover at the blue line, and Elias Lindholm head back the other way, trying to get in on the breakaway, and the shot goes up and over the net.
And Wilson and Ovechkin chasing on the back check that time. Still got a pretty good chance, but
Strome stepping in on the left circle now. Gives to Ovechkin, drops it back off toward the point. Chikrin goes over to the far side for Leonard. They work it around quickly, and Wilson from between the circles gets the quick shot in on Swayman, who handles it and hangs on.
Well, that's the setup they wanted. Right down low to Strome, just off of Swayman's left shoulder on the right side, and then the one-time pass back into the slot there for Tom Wilson. Now, he doesn't dust it off, he just gets it, and it's off his stick in a hurry right to Wilson before the Bruins can adjust.
Face off to Swayman's left. 46 seconds still to go in the kill here. 10:56 remaining in this first period. Dubois going to get tossed out of the circle. McMichael takes his place against Minton. Off the draw, Capitals will control it. No, Minton steals out near the blue line, and he'll work his way forward to the Washington line. Knocked away from him before he can get off a shot. And back comes Dubois through the neutral ice. McMichael along the near side board. Floats it down low. Or the back of the net. Sent out in front looking for McMichael was Ethan Frank. But the Bruins get the clear again. 20 seconds left on the penalty kill. Sandin come back toward the Boston line. Trying to get around Peak. Jeannot comes over to help that out. Aspero on the end boards as well now. 5 to go on the penalty. And Aspero will loft it out of the zone. And so Zadorov comes out. Each team 0 for 1 on the power play so far as we hit the midway point of this first period. Dump in by Roy. Will wrap all the way around to the far corner of the Bruins zone. Aspero sent it back toward the near side. Peak under pressure. Pasternak had it bound away from him. Loose puck near circle. Picked up by Elias Lindholm. On the left side, he's got Husnedinov with speed. Slams on the brakes. Very wiped himself out, but then Husnedinov had the puck slip away. Crossing pass comes near side. Lindholm will play it around behind the net. Pasternak in the far corner. Back to Hampus Lindholm. Mason Lohrei throws it at the net. Save made, and the rebound from Elias Lindholm. Pinballing around again. And another penalty coming.
Tried to get it over to Geekie over on that far side and just hit his skate. That's a good shot by Lohrei. You get that pass, D to D out at the point, take one quick step to the middle, get the wrist shot away with some traffic in front.
So they're going to get a holding penalty here against the Capitals. Alexi Protas, and the Bruins will go back to the power play when we return. 9:27 to go in the first. No score, Bruins and Capitals on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
Whether you're putting together a hockey team or Ford's award-winning lineup of SUVs, a great team starts with the right players, like the iconic Ford Bronco family, with great looks and the 4x4 capability to perform on or off the ice, and the rugged Ford Explorer, with seating for 7 and room for all your gear. Check out the full lineup of award-winning Ford SUVs at your New England Ford dealers today. Proud partner of the Boston Bruins.
TD Bank cardholders score special benefits at TD Garden, from Pro Shop discounts and free tours to free popcorn and more. These benefits were made for game time. Card eligibility restrictions and terms apply. Learn more at td.com/TD Garden Perks. TD Bank, Bank of the Boston Bruins and the Boston Celtics.
Hey hockey fans, it's Bob Beers. If you're ready to upgrade your outdoor living space, look no further than TimberTech Decking and Railing. TimberTech is the #1 premium composite decking brand, and it's tough enough to handle anything. It looks just like real wood, but without the costly maintenance of a wood deck. It won't rot, warp, splinter, or peel, ever. And it's backed by industry-leading warranties, so your deck will last year after year after year. Connect with a local contractor or order free samples at timbertech.com to see the TimberTech difference for yourself. TimberTech, everything wood should be.
Feeding the Puck for Families is proudly presented by the Shaw's and Star Market Foundation. With every assist, the Shaw's and Star Market Foundation Nourishing Neighbors Initiative will donate funds to the Greater Boston Food Bank to end hunger here in our local communities. Up to $50,000. Learn more at 985thesportshub.com/feedthepuck.
The Bruins play on the Sports Hub.
9:27 left first period. Bruins and Capitals are scoreless. Boston to the power play for the second time in this game after a holding call against Alexei Protas. Each team already had one opportunity. Off the face-off, Capitals will wrap it around far side. Wilson can't get it cleared through Geekie. They'll get it to McAvoy, center of the blue line. Pasternak, top of the right circle. Back to McAvoy, one-timer. Save made, and Elias Lindholm a chance of the rebound. Slipped just wide of that far side of the post, and back comes the other way. McMichael, left circle, center, and Swayman made a great stop on Wilson. Now Pasternak racing back up the left wing side. Crossing pass gets tipped off into the corner off of McMichael's stick. Along the end boards, two aside, they battle for it. Roy trying to keep it locked up back there. Geekie, Elias Lindholm, now Zacha involved. He'll backhand it along. Pasternak coming to the slot, and his shot gets knocked away, and the puck is cleared out. Minute 10 to go in the power play. McAvoy back down the right side. All the way down the circle and around behind the net to the far side, but nobody over there. It'll ricochet all the way back down the other end. And racing up ice is Beauvillier to get there first inside the Bruins zone. Zacha able to angle him off the puck. Lori between the circles stops and now turns up ice with 50 seconds to go with a man advantage. Drops back for Minton. Steps in across the Capital line. Pasternak feathers one through to Arvidsson. Goes down low to Minton. Minton peels back behind the net. Backhand pass over to Middlestat. Center blue line for Lori. Now Pasternak, top of the right circle. Fakes, then takes the shot. Save made by Thompson with Arvidsson right in front of him. Capitals will clear.
A lot going on in that power play. Bruins have a couple good opportunities, then a misplay back to the point. Ends up being the 2-on-1, and a great opportunity again there from Tom Wilson. He's had two excellent chances that Swayman's made saves on.
10 to go in the man advantage. Middlestat setting one in front. Minton couldn't get it to settle. Brings around behind the net. Steves back to Lori. Back to Steves, who was thinking one-timer. Pass a little too hot. Minton in the near corner. Turns it back down low and brings in behind the net. Power play is over. Minton gives it to Middlestat along that far side, trying to get it back to Minton at the dot. Broken up by Protas. It comes bouncing back toward the slot. Arvidsson lunging for it. And it ricochets wide into the near corner as three bodies go sliding in there. Arvidsson with a pair of Capitals. Middlestat along the near side hash marks. Doing battle with Sorta for possession. Now Corrali gets a stick in there. Middlestat takes a shove from Van Riemsdyk. On the near boards, Dubois plays it across ice. Zadorov hustling over by the Capitals bench to keep that puck in. But it'll come free to Van Riemsdyk back in behind the net. Dubois dumps in from the red line. Swayman will stop it behind the net and hand off for Zadorov. Boston moving from left to right here in the first period. Peaks pass tipped in deep by Corrali. Thompson went back to play it, then had to scramble back between the pipes as the Bruins came calling. Zadorov trying to get it in front. Redirected, comes bouncing toward the near corner. Corrali keeps it free. Janot tied up along the near side boards. Kastelik, Corrali, Janot. Three Caps in there as well. All the way around that far side it'll come now. Frank takes a heavy hit from Kastelik in the corner. But the Capitals get possession. Chikrin's outlet pass. Knocked away at center ice by Janot, and he'll drop it back to Zadorov. Under 6 minutes to go here in the first period. Zadorov calmly walking back behind the Bruins net. Now Pasternak throws a long pass up ice. Elias Lindholm tips that onto the left wing side for Husnadinov. Back to Lindholm, centering pass. Ferravari was there. Played it away from the side of the net. Husnadinov wins it back. Far side corner. Elias Lindholm against LaPierre. Backhands along for Husnadinov. Taken away far circle. And Washington will move out. Long pass up ice. In across the line. They try to get it to Leonard coming down the slot. That was broken up. Now Duhaime out near the blue line with a shot. That knocked down in front. Leonard trying to find it. McAvoy able to keep him tied up and give Swayman a chance to cover that up. So 5:11 to go here in the first period. No score. Bruins and Capitals here on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. It's time for powerful performance. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, or CR-V. Hurry into your Honda dealer today. Score a hat trick with Avidia Bank's free checking. Get your paycheck up to 2 days early. Enjoy free ATMs through the Sum and All Point networks. And never get blindsided by minimum balance requirements or monthly fees. That's a win for your wallet, hockey fans. Visit AvidiaBank.com. Avidia Bank. Honest to goodness. Member FDIC. Member DIF.
I love shows about survivalists, eager to test themselves under the most extreme conditions. Of course, when you consider weather events these days, wildfires, hurricanes, torrential rain, and flooding, we're all survivalists. Visit the Resource Center at safetyinsurance.com and be prepared to protect your family, your property, even your business. The forecast calls for safety. Ask an independent agent about safety insurance. We'll help you manage life storms.
Now at Wendy's, you can go big, biggie, or biggier. With our new $4, $6, or $8 meal, you choose your deal, as you should. Sorry, I get fired up when I'm talking deals. More biggie options, more of what you really want at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. It's time for powerful performance. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, or CR-V. Hurry into your Honda dealer today.
The Revolution play on the Sports Hub.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification across the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, this is Boston's home for sports. WBZ-FM at HD Boston 98.5 The Sports Hub.
At 5:11 to go here in the first period at TD Garden, Bruins and the Washington Capitals are scoreless. Boston with 2 power play chances, Washington with 1 so far, and that last one was, there was, as you said, a lot going on there.
Both ends of the ice. Wilson was robbed by Swayman. And, both coaches talked a little bit about winning the battles in front of the net, whether it's the offensive net or the defensive net. I know it was emphasized by the Bruins, especially at the last game against the Nashville Predators. There's been a bunch of scrambles, especially on the Bruins side of things in front. They just haven't been able to find a handle.
There's Chychrun coming to the left circle and was trying to get a shot off. Arvidsson got in his way. Then he tried to wheel around, and puck ends up coming back out along the near side board. Centering pass all the way through to the far side, and Peak will play it up the wall here for Arvidsson. Back toward the near side for Zadorov. Pass kicked onto the stick of Middlestat, but he missed Zacha on the entry pass, and Chychrun will play it back out into neutral ice. Denied near the red line. Now Protas gets it back into the zone. Wilson gets knocked down by Zadorov along the near circle. Geeky far wall. Gets it out. Glove down and played back toward the near side by Sandin. Wilson will drop it back a little further. 4:20 to go here in this first period. Chychrun standing in his own zone here for Washington. Directing a little traffic. Now skates it slowly up toward the red line. Fires in all the way around to the far side. Hampus Lindholm will play it back toward the end wall. Lohrei to the near side for Steves. Here's Hampus coming through neutral ice. Brings it across the line. Right circle. He's got Minton turning with it along the wall. Backhands it deep. Van Riemsdyk cuts it off in front of Geeky. But Hampus gets it back, and a centering pass looking for Steves gets denied, and right back out it comes.
Been some plays, that have just kind of died where they haven't finished them off. There's been plays there to make.
Minton coming toward the high slot. Back to Geeky for a one-timer that sails high and off the end wall will come all the way back out of the zone. 3:30 to go here in the period. Lohrei gives to Kastelik coming up the near right wing. Chips it around behind the net. Baravari goes back there for Washington. Around the near side, Beauvillier kicks it along. Strome with a pass that gets taken away at the blue line. Corrali going to get it back toward Kastelik, but Washington recovers. Baravari will come right back through neutral ice. On the right side, Beauvillier. That looked to be offside. Bruins, though, will clear it. So play on, and we'll never know. Now Roy. From the center ice circle into the left wing corner. Capitals go for a change. Bruins break it out. McAvoy to Hustadinov. Gets it deep. Pasternak will get in there on the forecheck, but Capitals will bring it right back out. LaPierre up across the line to the far side. Hampus Lindholm chasing into the corner. Puck came back toward the point. Duhaime to Chikrin. Over to that far side once again. Sent back in deep by Sandin. Hampus Lindholm in the far corner, couldn't win it. Back to Sandin, center blue line. Chikrin left circle shot. Swayman made that blocker save. Lohrei pulls it back in behind the net. Around to the far side, LaPierre. And got it back to the point, but it gets through Sandin, and he has to collect it in the neutral zone. Brings it right back into the Bruins zone, and straight on shot. Blocker stopped by Swayman. Under 2 minutes to go in the period. Back out into neutral ice, and Chikrin will reload quickly. Played behind the net, cut off by Swayman. Lost it to Protas, who tried to center.
Yeah, pressure on both sides, so it was a decision which way he wanted to go with it. Starting with Swayman playing that puck.
Bruins survived that one. Protas in the neutral zone, lofting one across the ice, and that one's going to have a little bit too much loft on it. Goes into about the fourth row over the far side glass. 1:27 left here in what is so far a scoreless first period.
Yeah, it's been good pace, and I think for the Bruins staying off the rush, but they had one good look early off the rush with the four-man unit there with the defenseman jumping up at Lohrei.
Hammond around the Bruins zone, near side. Geekie, Sortif, both along the near side boards, and now it's cleared out by Minton. Steves takes a hit from Roy along the near side. Minton able to push that puck forward. We tick down toward a minute to go in the period. Capitals moving from right to left as they come out of their own zone. Brought in across the line. Sortif along that far side. Pressured by Zadorov out near the blue line. Able to win that battle.
Numbers.
Minton plays out of the zone. Steves, so he had Geekie coming up the near side. Geekie had to try to stop to stay on side, though, and couldn't catch up to that pass. Volleyed back toward the Boston zone. 40 seconds to go in the period. Aspero to McAvoy. Dumps in. Thompson stops it behind the Washington net. He'll shoot it around the glass far side. Over the head of Corrali, but kept alive. And then Jeannot had a chance. That one fired off the end wall. Kastelik squeezed against the boards near side. Loose puck out near the blue line. Aspero got knocked down by Ovechkin. Puck will come back into Boston territory. McAvoy a step ahead of Strome. Up the far side for Corrali. Neutral ice, Jeannot got turned around against Beauvillier. Chikrin's got the puck with 5 seconds to go in the period. Now Beauvillier will try for a last-second shot, but that gets smothered. And that'll take us to our first intermission here this afternoon at TD Garden. Bruins outshoot the Capitals 9-7 in that first period. 0 for 2 on the power play for Boston, 0 for 1 for Washington. And we're
believe in their mission to support first responders. This season, our 73 Reasons campaign is giving back over $250,000 to protect those who protect us. Join thousands making a difference today at servicecu.org.
Mass Mutual presents an uncomfortable pregame conversation between goalie UC Saros and center Ryan O'Reilly.
Hey, Juice, what are your financial goals?
No goals.
Like, no goals for retirement?
No goals.
What about a new home?
No goals.
Good talk. See you on the ice.
No goals.
Planning and protection on and off the ice. Go to massmutual.com today.
NHL fans, give yourself some great looks this season and get Boston Bruins tickets at Ticketmaster. As the official ticket marketplace of the Bruins and the NHL, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of tickets available for every game, so you can catch all the action live all season long. If your plans change, you can sell or transfer your tickets, and mobile tickets make it easy to get into the arena in time for puck drop. With Ticketmaster, you'll ensure that when they shoot, you'll score. Get tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Bruins.
The sun is out, the birds are chirping, and the open road is calling. Bring on the spring at the Honda Spring Event and take that road trip you've been dreaming of. Now's the time to check out the Honda Civic and HR-V from Honda, the 2025 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand.
based on 2025 Consumer Choice Awards from Kelley Blue Book. Visit kbb.com for more information.
Electrical contractors, Granite City Electric has a convenient way for you to pick up and access your materials 24/7. Introducing the GCE Night Train Depot. Pick up supplies when it's convenient for you. All materials are stored safely indoors and order size doesn't matter. It's not a locker. Best of all, it's free with over 27 Night Train Depot locations across New England. Convenience and savings all delivered to you from Granite City Electric Supply, proud partner of the Boston Bruins Radio Network.
With the NHL app, you can listen to every NHL game right from your phone. And with home and away broadcast feeds, you choose your way to listen. Whether you're at work, at the gym, or stuck in traffic, the NHL app puts you right in the action all season long. Every team, every game, everywhere you go. Download the NHL app and never miss a moment.
Hi, I'm David Morales, General Manager of WellPoint in Massachusetts. At WellPoint, we're proud to once again partner with 98.5 The Sports Hub for the Hometown Heroes program, shining a light on the individuals who selflessly serve and support our communities across Massachusetts. These everyday heroes deserve to be recognized for the impact they make, both big and small. Help us celebrate them by nominating a hometown hero today at 985thesportshub.com/heroes.
The Peterson School is now hiring for new instructors at all locations.
Hi, I'm Adam Norcott, an electrical instructor at the Peterson School. I've learned so much from my students and their experiences, and it's made me a better teacher, foreman, and electrician.
Visit petersonschool.com.
The Celtics play on the Sports Hub.
No, the interview. First intermission here at TD Garden. Bruins and the Capitals are scoreless. Just prior to today's game, we had a chance to speak with Bruins General Manager Don Sweeney. You will hear it during both intermissions. Here is part one of our conversation. Joined by Bruins General Manager Don Sweeney, coming off of yesterday's NHL trade deadline. You made a couple of moves, but nothing that directly impacts the NHL roster. You had said earlier in the week that you were, looking to maybe give these guys a bump. Why did that not materialize?
Well, not for lack of effort on our, our staff. The scouts obviously do a lot of work throughout the year and put us in a position that we could explore a lot of different things, and we did. Trying with always an eye towards helping this team and moving forward. There was no real definitive path to say we were going to be in a rental mindset, and some of the ones just didn't line up for where rightfully so what the seller was asking, because it was it was high, but I understood. I went through last year and I took no umbrage in the fact that guys had set their value of their players, and but we just couldn't get there this time around.
When you were tied to Rasmus Anderson a while ago, true or not, there were a lot of right defensemen that moved. Just wondering how interested that part of the market was, or if you had identified maybe that was an area you wanted to try to upgrade a little bit. What were there, 9 or 10 right shot defensemen? Now, not all of them are top tier, but a number of them moved, and like you said, the prices were high. We were exploring, a bunch of different positional needs organizationally as to where we are today, and certainly with the mindset of heading forward. A lateral play wasn't really where our head was at from the standpoint of believing in the 8 guys we currently have on the roster. So we didn't have a lack of trust in the group as it is. We're just, really being mindful of what might present, what would have presented, and the players that did move at a higher profile, I do believe we were interested in potentially adding one or two, in not just that singular position, but in a couple other areas that would address needs as we see where our team is at, but most importantly, they fit in moving forward.
You were asked, I wanted to talk about a little bit about where the organization is right now. As you went through this process this week and talking with other GMs, how do you feel about the picks, the prospects, the players on your roster that you have right now, and the value that some of them might have here down the road going forward?
Well, I'll start by saying we believe this club has earned the right to be where they are and to try and finish and get into the playoffs. They honestly, I used the line this morning that the deadline is an opportunity to add, but it's also an opportunity to subtract. And I wanted our guys to know that we started this year blocking out outside noise, that we weren't going to be as competitive as what we had intended to be, and I think they've stared that down. Now they, obviously we're giving them a chance to complete that and get into the playoffs, and we'll see what happens. It's a great opportunity to exchange information. Doug might say that some of that information gets a little public before he would like it to, and I think we all feel that way. I will take one aside before I answer the question completely, Ryan. Like, I had somebody pass along a comment about one of our players from a head of amateur scouting, and his description of that player was right there, quoted. I wouldn't do that. If they could do this, I can't stand that. I think that's a bad look for the league, is to people that won't put their name to something that does that. But where I'm going with that is the exchange of information, have an understanding of where other teams might see your players. We constantly evaluate. Our development staff's doing a great job communicating with our guys. You always want to know your players in terms of whether they're NHL guys or whether or not there's opportunities to do lateral things that might help your club and somebody else might identify that helps their club. So I think that's a really important part of the exercise. And the exchange of information with other general managers as to what they're asking for is always important. And we do the same thing, asking last year for, Fraser Minton is a great example of our guys doing their work and saying he's the guy for us if we're exploring that type of trade, and a very difficult move, in that sense. And we would view it the same way as some of our players to say, hey, that's too difficult for us to give up at this point in time, because we're building where we need to. The organizational base needed to get better and deeper. 10 years running of hitting the accelerator and trying to be, that ultra competitive team doesn't mean we don't want to win. Doesn't mean we don't think we can right now, because we put ourselves in a position to do that.
Bruins general manager Don Sweeney joining us just prior to today's game. We'll have part 2 of that interview coming up during our second intermission today. After 1, Bruins and Washington are scoreless. We'll check the other action around the NHL when we return here on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
The 99 Restaurants $14.99 big deal meals always hit the spot. They're big on flavor, big on comfort, and big on value. And now you can dig into these hearty favorites any day of the week. That's right, the $14.99 big deal meals are available all day, every day. So now you can have the roasted turkey dinner all week long. Hurry in today or every day for any one of our $14.99 big deal meals. You gotta love the nines.
Hey, it's Maz for Window Nation. I've done a lot of home projects. In fact, if you asked me to swap out a window, I could do it. But here's why you shouldn't and why I shouldn't either. Because Window Nation can give you a better window and a better installation than anyone else. They actually educated me on this process. Window Nation can swap out a single window in under 15 minutes, and the average home job for them takes 1 day. You start saving immediately on energy costs as much as 30 or 40%. And in March, the more you buy, the more you save. Up to 50% off all window styles. For a free consultation, visit windownation.com and do it today. Did you know Scrub-A-Dub Unlimited lets you wash anytime you want? The all-new Scrub-A-Dub Bedford is now open off Mystic Ave.
Anytime's a good time to be Scrub-A-Dub clean.
Mike Rowe here with a random fact. More than half of the homes that have basements in North America will experience water damage. It's true. Whether it's basement moisture, flooding, or bowing walls, do yourself a favor, call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys. They're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Busy Dog Basement Technologies is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Learn to lead with impact at Babson College, ranked the #1 graduate school in entrepreneurship for 32 years by U.S. News and World Report. Join their virtual open house March 18th and receive an application fee waiver up to $100. Register at babson.edu/gradopenhouse.
This is Boston's home for sports.
No score between the Bruins and Washington after 1 here at TD Garden. Elsewhere around the NHL today, there are no other games in progress. Lots of other action, though, on the docket. A 3 o'clock start in New Jersey as the Devils will take on the New York Rangers today. At 5:30, the Nashville Predators, fresh off their win over the Bruins on Thursday night, they visit the Buffalo Sabres, who made some additions at the trade deadline. Sabres come into the day tied atop the Atlantic Division with Tampa, though the Lightning do have 2 games in hand. Pittsburgh Penguins, we will see them tomorrow in Pittsburgh. They are at home today as well, hosting the Philadelphia Flyers starting at 5:30. 7 o'clock start, Lightning will visit the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. The Columbus Blue Jackets, who enter the day just a point behind the Bruins for the second wild card spot. Columbus hosting Utah for a 7 o'clock face-off tonight. Winnipeg Jets take on the Vancouver Canucks also at 7 o'clock. Montreal visits the LA Kings for a 7 o'clock face-off. And then the late games, all 10 o'clock starts. Calgary Flames hosting the Carolina Hurricanes. The Islanders will visit San Jose. And the Ottawa Senators are out west as well to take on the Seattle Kraken. One period complete here at TD Garden. Bruins and Capitals are scoreless. We'll have the second period coming your way next on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
Hockey season is the perfect time to get a high-efficiency Peerless boiler. Be ready and start saving now. Find the Peerless boiler that's right for your home or business and a list of local installers at peerlessboilers.com. Remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boilers.
Hey, it's Sean Flaherty, managing partner at Catches Law Group. There's something about Bruins hockey, toughness, tradition, and pride that runs deep in New England. That same mindset is how Catches Law Group was built for over 40 years. We've been this region's hometown law firm, fighting for our neighbors and recovering over $3 billion for the people who count on us. We are real trial lawyers who deliver real results. Because when the pressure's on, you need a team built to battle. Visit catcheslaw.com to schedule your free consultation today.
Town Fair Tire is New England's largest volume discount tire dealer with over 100 locations. So we sell Michelin tires for the guaranteed lowest price. Like Michelin tires with all-season capabilities and maximum performance. Plus, Town Fair will give you more free services for life on your Michelin tires for longer tread life and reliable traction in both wet and dry conditions. For the guaranteed lowest price on Michelin tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody!
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
98.5 The Sports Hub and the Bruins Radio Network welcome the following new partners. Your New England Chevy dealers and the Chevy Silverado. TimberTech Decking and Railing, #1 in premium decking. Order free samples at timbertech.com. Blue Sky Restoration. Tune in to hear this date in history being restored by Blue Sky all season long. And remember, if you have a property disaster, visit goblusky.com. And your Boston area Lexus dealers. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer today. From the home of the Bruins, thank you for joining our winning team.
Sports don't get any tougher than hockey, and trucks don't get any tougher than Ford F-Series, F-150, and Super Duty. The trucks that move mountains also move parade floats and snowmobiles. With that versatility, it's no wonder Ford F-Series is the #1 selling pickup for 49 years straight. Visit your New England Ford dealers today for great offers. A proud partner of your Boston Bruins. Sales claim based on 1977 to 2025 calendar year total sales.
Hi, it's Jason Todd from Blue Sky Restoration. All hockey season, Blue Sky is restoring historic garden moments on the ice. Tune in to the Bruins Radio Network every home game to hear this date in history, restored by Blue Sky. And remember, if you have a property disaster, visit goblusky.com. Restoring your property and your life for a brighter tomorrow.
Bob's a financial professional who's currently enjoying a win-win scenario, meeting with a valued client and enjoying a round of golf. But Bob's used to win-win scenarios because he works with Mass Mutual, who not only provides the freedom and flexibility to offer his clients products and solutions that meet their needs, they offer Bob the autonomy, compensation, and optional home office support that meet his. Win-win. Success for your clients and yourself. The feeling is Mass Mutual. Learn more at massmutual.com/wealthmanagement.
Boston Sports Talk, the Sports Hub.
Bruins and Capitals scoreless at the end of one, joined by Alex Steves, who's back in the lineup for the Bruins for the first time since the Olympic break. How was that first period for you? It's been a long time since you've gotten a chance to play in a game.
Yeah, it's quick out there, so, just trying to catch up a little bit, get the timing back, everything like that.
work hard, short shifts, and it'll come back fast.
Yesterday's trade deadline, no impact on the NHL roster for this team. How do you guys feel headed into the last quarter of the season, knowing this is your group?
Yeah, we feel good. Like you said, this is our group, and this group's gotten us to a good spot to this point, and nothing should really change.
Washington Capitals come in here today. The Bruins hadn't played them since opening night, so what kind of game do you expect this to be, especially now that you've got 20 minutes under your belt?
Yeah, I think it's a game where both teams are desperate for points, and with that being said, I think both teams are going to try to put their best foot forward and play real fast and physical, so it's an exciting game.
Thanks for the time. Good luck in the second.
Thanks.
Thanks to Alex Steves for joining us. Brought to you by TD Bank. TD cardholders score special benefits at TD Garden, from pro shop discounts and free tours to free popcorn and more. Learn more at the TD Garden website. TD Bank, bank of the Boston Celtics and Bruins. 9-7. Bruins had the advantage in shots on goal, 19-16 on attempts. 4 of the 9 shots the Bruins had in that first period coming on their 2 power play chances. Washington had a power play chance of their own as well.
2 best opportunities for the Capitals by far was Tom Wilson, right? The power play chance from the low slot. He's right in between the hash marks on a well-executed play by the Capitals. Nice save there by Swayman. And then the 2-on-1 shorthanded that he got the pass from, and Swayman robbed him on that one. From the Bruins standpoint, I thought that compete level was there, the pace was there, winning battles, that type of thing. Now they got to tie a little execution into it.
Boston will go from right to left here in the second period. Borai off the face-off, tried to play it deep, but it gets blocked and sails up over the glass along the far side now to play. Bruins will be back home here on home ice Tuesday night. You can make Tuesday night one to remember here at TD Garden. Bring your friends, family, or co-workers and feel the energy as the Bruins take on the LA Kings at 7 p.m. Don't miss the moments you can only get live. Grab your seats now at bostonbruins.com/tickets. Puck comes careening just inside the Bruins zone. Borai backing toward the near side. Gives it ahead for Steves, trying to move it forward. Capitals able to deny entry. Dumped in by Van Riemsdyk. Swayman stops it to the back of the net. Hampus Lindholm near corner. Pass over to the far side for Geekie. Back across the ice for Steves along the near side boards, and he chips in deep. Chychrun just a step ahead of Minton. Back of the net, sort of trying to hold off Geekie around to the far side. Steves peels it off the wall. Center blue line, Warai. His shot got blocked off of Van Riemsdyk, who plays it out of the zone, and Warai keeps it away from McMichael as it directs all the way back in behind Swayman. Hampus Lindholm coming up the left side. He's going to work his way into the Capital zone, gets a shot in on Thompson. Long rebound to the far side. Protas on his horse, moves it across ice now to Wilson, trying to get it back in front. Hampus Lindholm able to deny there in front as it tips around to the far side. Wilson hands off over there, and back deep it comes for Protas. Wrestled down behind the net by Hampus Lindholm, and a penalty coming. Holding the indication, and Hampus making his way to the box.
Yeah, Protas able to spin that time. It's right behind Jeremy Swayman, and he's going to spin into the free arm that time of Lindholm, and that's going to be called just about every time. Smart play. Lindholm had been out there for a little while, and he had joined the rush up in the offensive zone, then had to hustle all the way back after his shot ricocheted wide, and then he gets back.
Seen him join the rush a few times already in this game.
Well, the D-men have. I mean, Laura did it early in the game. McAvoy has done it.
Strome along the near boards, had it taken away by Corrali, who gets the puck cleared. Second power play chance of the game for Washington comes early here in the second. Chychrun will leave it in the defensive zone. Leonard's pass away from Strome, so they have to reset here. Leonard will deal one back for Chychrun. Skates it through neutral ice on the right side. He's got Wilson just inside the Boston line. Gets it back to Leonard, stepping to the high slot, and a shot blocker saved by Swayman. Around the near boards, and Leonard will get to it in the corner. Hands off, and they work back to Wilson out near the blue line. Over to Chychrun. Right back toward the near side. Strome had to reach for it and couldn't get it. And that gives the Bruins a chance to clear, and Zadorov does it.
Leonard upset with himself. He had a nice pass from Wilson, walked right down the middle of the ice that time. Tried to go blocker side.
Leonard, former BC Eagle, made his pro debut in this building last year, tail end of the season. Frank along the near side boards. Gets Sandin out of the point. Turns it down the wall. Dubois goes right to the side of the net. McMichael there. Puck gets bounded into the far corner as it got knocked out of the air. Frank will send back behind the net. McMichael keeps it moving toward the near side. Dubois spins away from Jeannot. Skates down to the right corner. Back to Sandin at the point. Now Dubois comes out to the blue line and picks it up from there. Coming down the circle into the corner. Try to deal it back again. Picked off by Husnudinov, and he'll play it all the way back down ice with 20 to go on the power play.
A dangerous play right down by the front of the net. Swayman alertly, as that puck popped up into the air, gets the blocker on it to keep it out.
Sandin leaves it off for Protas, coming forward with speed, but turned the puck over coming into the Bruins zone, and back the other way comes Boston. Hampus Lindholm sprung from the box. Here's Pasternak. Drags it toward the slot. Couldn't get off the shot, but then the puck came back across, and a backhander does get in on Thompson, who made the save. Protas will play it back into the Bruins zone. McAvoy trying to get around sort of to play that puck. McAvoy takes a tumble coming out of the corner, and a penalty coming.
He got tripped up.
So we've played about 23 and a half minutes, and this will be the 5th penalty of the day.
Sort of second one in the offensive zone.
Yeah, he took that one in the first minute of the first period. I didn't see it.
I don't see it.
It was Beauvillier that McAvoy got tied up with.
Maybe,
right.
Yeah. That's sort of, he had an argument there, but maybe Beauvillier. Two good saves, right? Swayman makes one on the power play, and then down the other end when Pasternak, was a broken play. That puck got back to him, and he was able to chip a backhand that time on Thompson.
The Bruins' 3rd power play of the game here. Still scoreless early second period. Aravari on the far boards trying to tie up Zacha. Elias Lindholm trying to poke it back to the point. It's picked off, and McMichael in a race up the left side. Turns with it along the wall. Flipped it across ice looking for Wilson. Geekie coming back to make the defensive play there. And the Bruins come forward. Zacha to Pasternak. Into the middle for McAvoy. McAvoy to the far circle. Zacha coming in front, and they score! Zacha pots the second opportunity, and the Bruins grab the lead with a power play goal.
Wilson is furious, sort of is furious right now. That was a great play by Geekie on that back check, but I think Wilson thought he got tripped up, and they come right back the other way. 4-man rush. They catch Wilson deep inside the zone. He's got to try to hustle back. So Geekie plays this puck. And this Wilson was complaining. I don't think there was any penalty there, but they get up on this rush with the 4-man rush. McAvoy coming down the middle, gets this puck into Zacha in tight. Zacha, he stopped on the first one and then picks it out of the air. Wow. On the rebound chance. Up and over top of that blocker side there of Thompson. Sort of had more of an argument than Wilson did.
So for Pavel Zacha, that is his 16th of the year. Just his 2nd goal in the last 13 games. And it gives the Bruins a 1-0 edge here early in the second. 1 for 3 now on the power play for Boston. And Washington going to try to answer right back. A centering pass knocked away by Kaslik on a long shot from Chychrun. Steered off into the near corner. LaPierre get it back to Chychrun. Out of the left point. Now to Van Riemsdyk near side. LaPierre back to Van Riemsdyk for a drive. That one coming into the corner. Referee had to be alert. Chychrun will play it as it comes back out to neutralize, but it was touched with a high stick, so they'll blow the play down.
Fans, hockey season is the perfect time to get a high-efficiency Peerless boiler. Be ready and start saving now. Find the Peerless boiler that's right for your home or business and a list of local installers at peerlessboilers.com. Remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boilers.
McAvoy and Pasternak will pick up the assist on Zacha's goal at 4:07. So that ends the 3-game point drought for Pasternak. McAvoy now with points in 11 of 12. It's off a dump in. Swayman will give it to McAvoy. Out of the far corner for Arvidsson. Couldn't get the zone cleared. Around the near side it'll come. Ovechkin fires it back down low. Beauvillier chasing McAvoy into the far corner. Arvidsson try to tap it along for Zacha. Just able to knock it out of the zone to center ice. Comes back toward the Washington line. Near side, Roy. Back over to the far side. Chisholm to Ovechkin. And deep it goes. Swayman gives it to Aspero. Around the near side wall. Middlestat knocks it off his body. Plays it with the stick over to McAvoy. Coming to the red line and a dump in. Sandin got it back behind the net to Strome. Far side held in by Peak. Center blue line. Here's Zadorov with a shot that went just wide on the stick side. Fired back out in front off the end wall. But the Capitals able to clear it away. Peak to Zadorov in the neutral zone. Dump in by Arvidsson. And on the side of the net, Thompson plays it away from there. And cleared out by Sandin. Peak. Pass over by the Bruins bench for Geekie. Now Steves will chase Sandin. Loosened up that puck. It'll come back towards Sandin coming near side with it. Caravari with a pass up ice. Wilson will carry across the Boston line. Now Dubois spun down by Zadorov. Loose puck coming toward the slot. Minton gets a stick on it. Protas with a shot that went wide on the stick side. Peak able to keep Dubois from it at the back of the net. Geekie and Minton move up ice along with Steves on the right wing side. Steves to the top of the slot and over to Geekie for a one-timer from the left circle. Thompson made that stop. Capitals moving back the other way. Protas will carry inside the Boston zone. Dubois into the near corner. Shoved to the wall by Laura. Read the puck up for Hampus Lindholm, but his pass picked off. And now Leonard will chase into the left wing corner. Turns it back to the point. Chychrun. Turning with it again along the blue line. Walking his way toward the far side. Sort just came on. He's headed down the right circle. Chychrun still with possession. Walks it all the way back around to the near side. Kicks it back onto his stick. Stepping in. Score! Swayman made the initial save, but the rebound kicks behind him. And Washington ties the game at 1.
The good cycle here by the Washington Capitals. And, I mean, Protas is going to get the goal, but what a play by Chychrun. Out high, he's isolated on Steves. He comes across the blue line. Steves reaches for this puck. He pulls it in between his skates. Kicks it up to his stick again and gets the initial shot away. Swayman makes the blocker save, and nobody can contain Protas' stick in front, but that's just really good individual effort that time by Chychrun.
Felt like he had the puck on his stick for about 30 seconds straight. Just,
I mean, he's big, he can skate, he's offensively gifted.
So it's a 1-1 game, 12.5 to go here in the period as Aspero gets a shot in on Thompson from the left wing wall. Thompson handles that and draws a whistle and a timeout. 12:27 to go here in the second. Each team on the board. We're tied at 1 here on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
The game is on. The crew's here. And the snack spread from Big Y? Oh, it's a thing of beauty. Wings that sauce the competition. Platters that get major play. And tossed pizzas for the whole team. And that impressive 30-inch super sub. Shout out to the experts at Big Y for the assist. Are they cheering for the game or for your snacks? My question exactly, sports fans. Big Y. Nicely done.
Hey, spring can be a tricky season weather-wise, but new windows from Window Nation can keep your home comfortable no matter the weather. Plus, in March, the more you buy, the more you can save, up to 50% off all window styles. Visit windownation.com for your free consultation today.
Join the P. Bruins on Sunday, March 8th for their annual Teddy Bear Toss in support of Hasbro Children's Hospital. Show your support by bringing or buying a teddy bear to toss on the ice when the P. Bruins scored their first goal. Get tickets now with a special Me Plus 3 offer, only at ProvidenceBruins.com.
Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes you from smooth sailing to Chevy Colorado will eat up some of the toughest terrains with 5 available drive modes. And Silverado and Silverado HD have the muscle to take you out for some serious with multiple engine options and impressive towing, while Silverado EV is the perfect combo of performance and capability, making it a snap to hitch up this electric truck and hit the road. Wherever the road leads, Chevy trucks are right there with you. Visit your New England Chevy dealers.
Champions play here. The Sports Hub.
Fans, get ready for the call-up. Join the Bruins season ticket wait list. Gain access to season tickets in priority order as they become available, plus score priority access to ticket pre-sales. Be the first to hear about the latest Bruins news and merch drops, and receive a dedicated account executive to address your needs year-round. Visit bostonbruins.com/waitlist to learn more and secure your spot in line.
You've got both goals that are scored right from the blue paint, right? I mean, Brodus' goal on a rebound. And Zacha's goal on a rebound, his own rebound, but still on a rebound. Going back to that theme earlier, you talk about will the game be won in front of the nets? Especially in Marco Sturm case, he wanted to see a better effort in that area.
Yeah, he said, this game will be won that way. Here's a chance in front by McAvoy coming down the right circle, and Thompson stoned him, but Bruins are going to go back to the power play here.
We've seen this play now. We've seen it result in a goal once. But a set play here off the faceoff, and McAvoy's going to get the great opportunity. They're going to give a slashing call here.
Brandon Duhaime.
But it's a face-off play. They win it back. It's on the left wing side. Get it back to the point. Pasternak's going to swing down at the bottom of the circle, and then he looks backdoor for McAvoy, who's coming in, and he gets by Duhaime on the play. The winger on that side doesn't expect McAvoy to be going to the net, and that's how he scored the other day on that play. You're watching the puck for a second, especially right off the draw, and all of a sudden McAvoy's gone towards the net.
So power play on here once again. Pasternak trying to get it across for Geekie, who was waiting at the left circle, but that was blocked, and Matt Roy will clear it all the way down the ice. 8 minutes gone here in the second. Tie game. Bruins 1 out of 3 on the power play so far today. McAvoy brings it to center ice, deals it back to Zacha. He and Elias Lindholm trade it coming through neutral ice. Now Pasternak looking for McAvoy, and that one gets out of the zone. Disrupted there by Beauvillier. McAvoy from the red line. Bringing it toward the near side. Geekie steps into the Washington end. Now McAvoy on the near boards. Beauvillier right on top of it. Loose puck toward the corner. Elias Lindholm rims it around to the far side for Pasternak in the corner. Onto the circle now to Zacha. Backing to the far wall. Crossing past to Geekie. Looking in front for Pasternak. It got all the way through. Zacha kept it alive. McAvoy to Geekie, top of the left circle. Steps to the dot. To Pasternak. Wide angle shot. Thompson the save. Rebound will be cleared to the far boards by Protas. But McAvoy knocks down Beauvillier to keep that puck alive. Pasternak to Elias in the near corner. Now down low, Pasternak again. Lindholm near circle, back to Geekie out near the blue line. Gives it to Pasternak coming out of the corner toward the top of the face-off circle. McAvoy back to Pasternak. Fake to one-timer. Try to pass. Disrupted by Protas, but McAvoy keeps in.
Capitals tired group right now.
Pasternak top of the right circle. Back up top for McAvoy to Geekie from the dot. And his drive blocked by Faravari. And as it ricochets back to him, he'll clear it all the way down the ice. 15 to go on the power play as Boston comes out of their own zone here with Lohrei. He'll give it back for Arvidsson. Arvidsson to the red line across the blue. Through some traffic, got a shot. The rebound nearly knocked out of the air by Minton. Power play comes to an end. And Sandin brings the Capitals forward onto the left circle, and Hampus Lindholm blocks the effort by McMichael. Van Riemsdyk in the near corner. Around the far side of McMichael with the hash marks. Sandin off of Wilson, kicks into the far corner. Hampus Lindholm there. Lohrei near side. Clear, cut off by Ovechkin at the blue line for Wilson, who went down. And the Bruins have numbers ahead. Middlestat down the left circle. Tried to get it across, and it's blocked by a sliding Van Riemsdyk.
And it was there for Minton, and Thompson was able to knock it away.
Middlestat wide angle shot, saved by Thompson. Loose on the near side of the net. Van Riemsdyk able to get a stick on it first. Tied up in the near corner by Middlestat. 9.5 to play here in the second period. Arvidsson had it stolen behind the net by Sandin. Ovechkin from the near circle will just loft it out towards center ice. Peak is there. Try to play it back up the middle for Kastelik, but missed him. Van Riemsdyk with a long pass toward the far side, directed into the Bruins zone by Sortif. And he chases Peak around behind the Boston net. Long lead pass up the left side. Kastelik comes in across the line. Got a shot through Chychrun. And Thompson made that stop. Puck just cleared out across the Boston line, or across the Washington line, and sent back in by Boston. Chychrun now brings the Capitals forward. To the red line, dumps around behind Swayman. Taken off the near boards by Dubois. Ricocheted around to the near circle. Zadorov to Kastelik. He'll skate it out of the zone. Now off the near board, Jeannot. Thompson stops his dump in behind the net. Chisholm near circle. Around the far side, McAvoy took it at the blue line and throws a shot to the net. With Jeannot in front, Thompson makes the save and grabs a hold of it to draw a whistle. Timeout with 8:25 to go here in the second period. It's the Bruins and the Capitals tied at 1 on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. It's time for powerful performance. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, or CR-V. Hurry into your Honda dealer today.
Hey, it's Charlie McAvoy. I love working with Service Credit Union because I believe in their mission to support the health, safety, and financial well-being of first responders. They put people before profits, and this season, Service Credit Union is giving back in a big way through our 73 Reasons campaign. Donating $200 for every block shot and $1,000 for every shutout, up to $250,000. Service Credit Union, success built on trust, banking built on service. Join the team and learn more at servicecu.org.
The Shaws and Star Market Foundation has teamed up with Andrew Peak for Feeding the Puck for Families. Every time he or one of his teammates feeds the puck to help score a goal, the Shaws and Star Market Foundation Nourishing Neighbors Initiative donate to end hunger in our communities. Since it began, Nourishing Neighbors has raised more than $250 million nationwide, ensuring neighbors have the nutrition they need to thrive. Here with each assist, the foundation will donate $100 to the Greater Boston Food Bank, up to $50,000 to help end hunger. Learn more at 985thesportshub.com/feedthepuck. Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. It's time for powerful performance. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, or CR-V. Hurry into your Honda dealer today.
The game is on the Sports Hub.
8:25 left here in the second. Bruins and the Capitals are tied at 1. Charlie McAvoy and David Pastrnak assisted on Pavel Zacha's power play goal here earlier in the period. And with those feeds, the Shaws and Star Market Foundation donates another $200 to the Greater Boston Food Bank to help fight food insecurity. Learn more about feeding the puck for families at 985thesportshub.com/feedthepuck.
Logan Thompson making some unbelievable saves. That last one, that 2-on-1, ended up being a broken play, and that puck was there for mid. He had an empty net if he could have gotten there first, but Thompson alertly poking it away. He's made 2 good saves on one-timers, one from Pastrnak and one from Geekie. Swayman's been very good at the other end. He hasn't had as much volume as Thompson.
20-12 right now, the shots on goal in favor of the Bruins. 11-5 Boston in this second period. Puck comes rattling around behind Swayman.
Most of Swayman's best of his work came in that first period.
On the near side corner, Husnudinov backhands in front of the net to McAvoy. Harassed by Leonard, can't get it out of his zone. One back deep and gets through Leonard toward the near corner. Strome will send it back around that far side. Leonard gets it back to the point this time. Roy, near side point. Throws one to the side of the net. Centering pass is knocked away. Aspero will push it out of his zone. Elias Lindholm skating forward here. Drops it off to Pastrnak. Quick pass to the left for Husnudinov off the end of his stick. Roy will get the clear. Wilson and Zadorov rumbling back into the Bruins zone, and it will just get far enough for an icing, just as Zadorov put his shoulder into Wilson in pursuit of that puck.
Wilson is, the first period was he was quiet. He had a couple really good chances. Shot. He's gotten more animated this period. The penalties that have been called.
The penalty that he thought should have been called that was not.
Right, yeah. So there was an icing there. He gets a little more animated as he gets along here.
Tom Wilson, 23 goals, 49 points in 53 games this season. Of course, made it on to Team Canada for the Olympics. So There's Fraser Minton in the attacking near corner. Trying to get it to Steves along the end wall. Strome instead will push it toward Wilson. Zadorov blocks his effort to clear the puck. Come back behind the Capitals net. Roy steps around to the far side. Sends a pass up the left wing side. Protas in across the Boston line. Down the left circle. Shot. Swayman against that far post. Put the blocker on. Peak banks it off the end boards to Zadorov. From the near circle. Rink wide pass on to Geekie. Kicked it onto his stick and then hands off for Steves, who had his stick knocked out of his hands. Bruins gain the attack zone. Penalty coming here on that play. And Dubois will touch it up and draw the whistle. Just as Swayman was getting to the bench for the extra skater.
Here comes more argument.
It is Wilson who goes to the box here for the slash.
It's one of the ones that he had one hand on his stick. Steves has got one hand. Steves has one hand on his stick reaching for the puck. Carberry's giving the referee an earful now.
Yeah, didn't break the stick, just knocked it out of his hand.
Yeah, so sometimes it's called, sometimes it isn't. But Carberry getting a little animated on the bench. Getting a little frustrated in
the balance of penalties.
The balance, that's a good way to put it.
It's now 5-2. Bruins 5 power plays to Washington's 2. Off the face-off, Zacha gets it back toward McAvoy to get things started on the man advantage. He walks it down the wall, sends behind the net to Pasternak. On to McAvoy in that right wing corner. Back up top now to Zacha. He'll bring it back to the right side. Back to McAvoy, one-timer straight on, and Thompson grabs that with the glove. And so a face-off will stay in the Capital zone.
And he had Elias Lindholm near the front of the net that time, but it looked like Thompson got a really good look at it.
Elias will take the face-off in this far circle and wins it. McAvoy backing toward the center of the blue line. Gives to his right to Pasternak. Down that circle for Zacha. Zacha under pressure from Faravari. Lost it. Zacha able to block a clearing effort off the far boards. It'll come to McAvoy. Pasternak waiting for it near side. Gives back to McAvoy, center of the blue line. Back to the left. Pasternak a drive. Skimmed off the outside of the net. Thompson looked like he got a piece with a glove.
Kind of an interesting new setup for the Bruins here on this power play. Pasternak at the top of the left wing circle and Geekie down low on that left side.
Here's Past again, left circle over to the far side. McAvoy was coming down, but pass just a little too far for him. Geekie near side back to Pasternak, who's out near the blue line. Gives a head fake against Duhaime. Back to Geekie left circle. Pass was off the mark.
Too far in front of him to get the one-timer away.
Near corner Elias Lindholm. 55 to go on the power play. Zacha gets it back to Pasternak with some space to the high slot. Trying to get around Duhaime now and went down and knocked that puck loose, but McAvoy there to keep alive. Zacha quickly back right circle to Pasternak. Tried to get it in front. That one blocked and goes out of play off of Roy.
Bruins will be a little frustrated with himself there because it's a 3-on-3 battle down in the corner. And the Bruins win the battle, get it out to the point, and it's Pasternak who's all alone coming down the slot. And Washington trying to get themselves back in a position. Duhaime stays right in front of him and is able to force Pasternak to go to the forehand and keep it away from him. That's a really good defensive play.
The Bruins bring out the second power play unit. 41 seconds to go in the man advantage. 5:17 to play here in the second. Still tied at 1. Minton will take the face-off far circle. Wins it toward Arvidsson, but chopped away from him. Protas in the near corner will play it through Middlestad and all the way down the ice. Swayman hands off behind the net for Laura. Mason carries out to his own blue line, banks it off the far boards for the trailer Arvidsson. He'll come through center ice. Gets off to Minton on the right side. Now Steves gains entry, but his pass picked off by Protas and sent all the way back down. 10 seconds to go on the Wilson penalty. He is standing and ready to come out. Arvidsson skates across the red line, cuts to his left, gains entry on the near side boards, leaves it along the wall for Lorai, back across to the far side. Zadorov, who would just come on with a one-time bomb. Capitals are back at full strength. Beauvillier gives to Wilson. He brings it towards center ice. Down the right wing side, Van Riemsdyk into the corner against Lorai, who separates him from the puck. Lorai will bank it off the far glass and out. Both teams getting some changes done here with 4:10 to go in the period. Puck will get dumped in deep by Declan Chisholm. Zadorov finds Jeannot to turn it up ice. Jeannot going to dump it into the far corner. Look for the carom. Corrali will get in there after it first in behind the net and able to keep it moving around that far side. Peak right back down low to Corrali. Holding off pressure from Chisholm. Jeannot pass for Kastelik is broken up by Dubois. And that sends Wilson up the left wing side with it. Centering pass came all the way across, and a chance for Sordiff in front. He tried to get it back to his backhand. Jeannot on that far wall. Wilson and Peak are locked up. Sordiff. And around the near side boards, it'll come all the way back to Chychrun at the right point. Throws a shot in on Swayman. Uses the right pad over to the far side. They work it back up top. Chisholm to Chychrun for a drive that sails high and wide. Chisholm will play right back in behind, out of the reach of Frank. Kastelik shoves Chychrun to the boards, and Zadorov will clear it. Jeannot was coming ahead, but that one misses him and turns into an icing.
Let's check out the upcoming Hardest Working Player of the Week content on 98.5thesportshub.com Bruins page, brought to you by the Peterson School. The Peterson School is now enrolling for their spring semester in Woburn, Westwood, Worcester, and Haverhill. Visit petersonschool.com to learn more.
Now face off back into the Bruins zone with 3:03 left here in the second period in a tie game. Andrew Peak having a conversation with Jeannot. Jeannot's going to come over and line up along the boards near side. Corrali stands in for the face-off. And wins it from Strome. Jeannot will backhand behind the net. Zadorov up the far side. Picked off by Faravari in front of Kastelik. Jeannot gets a stick on a pass coming across the ice. And now it'll be Strome to bring it back just inside the Boston zone before he's shoved down by Peak. Peak will wind up with a puck on his stick. And he sends Elias Lindholm forward. Lindholm is knocked down coming into the Washington zone. Puck still loose. Out in front of the net, nearly had a chance at it. Now Frank brings the Capitals back. Frank on the right side against Aspero. Knocks him off the puck. Kusnedinov started to look behind the net. Instead, turned back toward the far side. Finds some space all the way through neutral ice. Going to carry it down that right wing side. Goes into the right corner. And ends up being knocked onto his backside. Volleyed back out towards center and back to the Bruins zone. And another penalty coming up. Pasternak does not look happy. Interference, the indication, and he's going to the box. So with 2:06 to go here in the second, Washington will go to the power play when we come back. Still tied at 1 here on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
It's Truck Month with the Ford Crew.
Care for a Truck Month trivia contest, Sam?
Oh, you know I can't resist, Hank.
Okay, fact. Truck Month happens only once a year.
Fact. It's the best time to buy a new Ford truck.
Fact. Ford F-Series is the best-selling lineup of trucks in America for 49 years.
Fact. America loves Ford Truck Month.
Fact. I agree with that fact.
Based on 1977 to 2025 CY industry reported total sales.
TD Bank's here for an assist with a special checking and savings account offer for new customers. Perfect for fans of the Bruins. Learn more at td.com/garden offer or stop by any TD Bank location in New England. Terms and eligibility.
Agent about safety insurance. They'll help you manage life storms.
Now at Wendy's, you can go big, biggie, or biggier. With our new $4, $6, or $8 meal, you choose your deal, as you should. Sorry, I get fired up when I'm talking deals. More biggie options, more of what you really want at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Your hot takes on the Sports Hub.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station ID on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, this is Boston's home for sports. WBZ-FM at HD Boston, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Easily media station.
2:06 left second period. Bruins and Capitals tied at 1. Pasternak to the box for interference. Gives Washington their third power play of this game. Face off inside the Bruins defensive zone, and Corrali wins it. McAvoy will steer it around the far side. Kastelik to it first, and all the way down the ice it goes. Chychrun harassed by Corrali. able to drop it back to Strome. Throws one long into the Bruins zone. Wilson was in behind everyone. Swayman gets out into the trapezoid, sent it around far side. Ovechkin will play it right back around to the near side. Wilson toward the back of the net, cut off by McAvoy in front of Strome. Squirted out in front. Knocked away as Ovechkin nearly had it in the slot. Bruins get the clear.
Little frustration there on Washington's side. That puck pinballed around in front. Nobody could grab the handle on it.
Chychrun to Wilson and right back to Chychrun down the right circle he comes. Hampus Lindholm and Zadorov converge on him. Bruins will get another clear. Washington making some changes on the power play as Leonard will skate it forward. Gets down into the right wing corner. Floats one back to the point. Chychrun had to settle it with a glove. Now back to Leonard, who does likewise. Gets away from Zadorov, who tripped him up. Chychrun fires from the right point, and a save made by Swayman, and he hangs on. Leonard is barking at the referee there.
Half the bench is Spencer Carberry doing the same thing. He's getting frustrated on him right now. Thought they should have had a 5-on-3 there. And they're right.
Yeah. Zadorov kind of swung that stick around as he was falling down and took the skate right out from under Leonard. So power play continues with 44 more seconds here for Washington as a 5-on-4. Sandin over to that far side, back across to the near side. Dubois. Sandin over to Ovechkin for a drive from the left circle. Save made by Swayman. Rebound pulled in behind the net. Frank to Dubois, near circle. 30 seconds to go in the period. Sandin high slot. Dubois got it in front. Kicked off of Swayman's right pad. And Jeannot gets the long rebound and clears it down ice. And now another penalty coming. And this is going to be against Washington as they touch the puck up with 18.7 to go in the period. Ethan Frank headed to the box.
It's an alert play by Swayman. Gets the right pad down to make sure that they can't make the backdoor pass, which is what they're looking for. Spencer Carberry now is just...
Ethan Frank using that free right arm to kind of wrestle Jeannot off of the puck, drawing the penalty.
I think that's the same thing that was called on Zadorov in the first period. I think what they're more frustrated on is the non-call when Leonard got tripped up. It goes from it should have been a 5-on-3 to now it's 4-on-4, and the Bruins are going to get the power play in 13 seconds.
Right. You said Spencer Carberry has moved to the point of laughter now after that one. Sixth penalty of the game for Washington, 3 for the Bruins. So 18.7 to go here in the period. It's a 4-on-4. As Elias Lindholm wins the face-off, and Hampus Lindholm tries for a quick shot, but that gets blocked and sails out of play. So they'll face it off again in the Washington zone with 15.7 left.
Elias Lindholm's usually pretty reliable in the face-off circle. He had a difficult time in the first period, but he's been better here in the second, especially some of these power plays that they've had.
Yeah, the Bruins in that first period only won 27% of the face-offs. As puck goes into the corner, Chychrun able to poke it along the wall. Hampus Lindholm, 10 seconds to go in the period. Pasternak getting ready to come out of the box as Chychrun will skate up ice here. Cuts to his left. Shot gets blocked off of Geekie and hits the glass and pops up out of play. So with 1.4 seconds to go, Bruins power play is underway.
Yeah, they're just going to check the clock to see if they need to put a little bit more time on here.
Faceoff will be in the defensive zone here after that puck went out of play. So the Bruins going to carry about a minute 42 worth of power play time over into the second or into the third period. No adjustment required on the clock, so face it off to Swayman's right. Elias Lindholm matches up against Sordiff. And puck squirts toward the slot, and Hampus Lindholm in front of Sandin to make sure nothing comes of that. As the teams will head to the locker room for the second intermission. Each team able to get on the board once in this second period. It's a 1-1 game at the end of 40 here at TD Garden. We'll be back with a recap of the first two periods when we return here. Actually, no, excuse me. We will hear second part of our interview with Don Sweeney coming up next here on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
The Peterson School is now hiring for new instructors at all locations.
Hi, I'm Adam Norcott, an electrical instructor at the Peterson School. I've learned so much from my students and their experiences, and it's made me a better teacher, foreman, and electrician.
Visit petersonschool.com.
Hi, I'm David Morales, General Manager of WellPoint in Massachusetts. We're proud to continue our partnership with 98.5 The Sports Hub and the Hometown Heroes program, honoring the everyday heroes who work tirelessly to make our community stronger and healthier. From first responders to community leaders, these individuals deserve our recognition and gratitude. Now we want to hear from you. Head to 985thesportshub.com/heroes and nominate a hometown hero today.
The sun is out, the birds are chirping, and the open road is calling. Bring on the spring at the Honda Spring Event and take that road trip you've been dreaming of. Now's the time to check out the Honda Civic and HR-V from Honda, the 2025 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value Brand.
Based on 2025 Consumer Choice Awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit kbb.com for more information.
NHL fans, give yourself some great looks this season and get Boston Bruins tickets at Ticketmaster. As the official ticket marketplace of the Bruins and the NHL, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of tickets available for every game, so you can catch all the action live all season long. If your plans change, you can sell or transfer your tickets, and mobile tickets make it easy to get into the arena in time for puck drop. With Ticketmaster, you'll ensure that when they shoot, you'll score. Get tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Bruins.
Hey, it's Patrice Bergeron to talk about InvitiaBank's free checking account. It's something Boston hockey fans will love because it scores big benefits. First, get your paycheck up to 2 days early. Second, enjoy free ATMs nationwide through the Sum and All Point networks. That's over 56,000 ATMs coast to coast. And third, never worry about minimum balances or monthly fees. Now that's a hat trick. Score your account in branch or online in just 5 minutes. It's easier than an empty net goal. Get details now at InvitiaBank.com/Team Bergeron. InvitiaBank, honest to goodness. Member FDIC, member DIF.
Town Fair Tire has the area's largest inventory of name brand tires at discount prices, including Michelin tires, which give you the perfect match. A relaxing driving experience from your vehicle, along with all-season design for superior performance that stands out from the crowd. And Town Fair stands out from other dealers with a guaranteed lowest price on Michelin tires and gives you more free services for life than anywhere. Nobody beats a Town Fair tire deal. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Hockey season is the perfect time to get a high-efficiency Peerless boiler. Be ready and start saving now. Find the Peerless boiler that's right for your home or business and a list of local installers at peerlessboilers.com. Remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boilers.
Hit 985thesportshub.com.
2 periods down here at TD Garden, and the Bruins and the Washington Capitals are tied at 1. Prior to today's game, on the heels of yesterday's NHL trade deadline, we had a sit-down conversation with Bruins General Manager Don Sweeney. Here is part 2 of that interview.
A little bit of State of the Union. I know that coming out of the Olympics was going to be a little bit of an unknown, right? You don't know individual players, how they're going to react coming out of the Olympics and the 3-week break. You don't know how teams are going to react coming out. Wanted to follow up on something that you had said the other day, paraphrasing, but you weren't too crazy about the way that they played the first 4 games coming out of the break. Can you put a finger on, what areas have kind of slipped a little bit for you?
Well, the 2 wins, our goalies were our best player that night. I don't think we've played with quite the same energy and execution that we were playing prior to. We lost a little momentum. So, that's incumbent upon us as a group to get it back. Our road record, as I referenced, is another area where we have to recognize. We've got more road games than home games coming up, and down the stretch, you've got to flip that around if you plan to get in and have success in the playoffs. So it's a couple areas that I publicly acknowledge that, Marco and the group knows that already in terms of where they're at. They're pushing the buttons that hopefully will move it in the direction, starting with today, that we play better and play with a little more structure. The other night, second period wasn't very good, in terms of how we expect our group to play. And they have played that way. They've responded to our coaches and to Marco and holding themselves accountable. So I do expect that to get back on track. whether or not the deadline, whether or not all teams were sort of in a little bit of a fog coming out, you just can't afford to start playing uphill and into the wind, right away.
You mentioned the road record in there. That's been something that we've been kind of tracking throughout the course of the season. It's even with the long break, team hasn't won a road game I think since mid-January now. So, how does that get fixed? Can it get fixed down the stretch here?
It absolutely can get fixed. The same team, same 20 guys or 22 guys are going to go out the road that play, here today. Knock on wood and injuries wise. We played well enough to win prior to going to Nashville. We just didn't execute. We actually started the game fine. Elias missed a really, really good chance at the end of the period. 1-1. Then we give up a shorty, which really takes momentum away, and then we got sloppy from there, and you're playing from behind. Attention to detail is an area that needs to be better. Their starts need to be really, really detailed. The effort, the energy-wise, our club works hard, so I'm not worried about that. However, the energy level seems to have been a little bit work in progress to get into the game, as opposed to let's initiate the game, and we have players that should be able to help us do that. And we're not an easy team to play against. At home, we sure as hell should be an easy team to play against on the road as well, and that's an area that I think our guys will take to heart and hopefully do a better job of.
There's been some good positives about this team, and you just alluded to a couple of them. Power play has generally been good, maybe struggled a bit here lately, but they've been good and a good weapon for you. Penalty killing's been a struggle here. Penalties, the amount of penalties taken has been something that's talked about this season. How do you address it? How do you look at that, and can you put a finger on why that has been the case this season?
Power play has been good. Hasn't been quite as good coming out of the break as well. The execution, as I referenced, penalty killing has been much better. A little less in taking penalties probably is the best place to start in that regard. We've talked about it internally. We understand it. We have to own it. We've actually looked at some situations that say, okay, guys, why are we ahead on tripping? Why are we ahead on high stick? Because those are stick fouls. You have to understand the league is automatically going to call those. Interference, sometimes discretionary decisions. You can bark back at the officials to say, well, that one's interference, that one's not. Okay, but we have to own the ones we deserve. The roughing side of things, the scrum side of things, there's a heightened awareness as it gets along. Who's the first guy? Who initiates it? Some of those things. We disagreed with some of the things that happened in the Tampa game. We owned McAvoy. We owned, Kostelik's first penalty, but they don't get one. So those are the things that we look at as a team, and you have to accept these are our faults, and then you realize okay, what's the perception? What's the perception around the league as to why some of those things don't tilt back? And we have to make sure that we're correcting that. We're disciplined. For the most part, we have to be disciplined in all those things. The linesman says, hey, these guys are playing hard, but they're not taking advantage of not crossing the line, that we're going to, give the momentum back and say, well, they can't control themselves. In some of those situations, we've addressed internally and we'll do a better job. The stick fouls, you can't argue. Tripping is tripping, we have more of those than the other team, so we have to do a better job with our sticks.
Your overall thoughts on Marco Sturm's first year as head coach? Has he lived up to your expectations?
I have high expectations for the coaching standpoint. What he has done is exhibited the passion that he has, the teaching aspect, and wanting to work with players, wanting to communicate with players, how he wants them to play. The system side of things, he's not been so fixated on this is the only way. It's there's an evolving part of understanding where your players, what they're capable of doing, and how you tweak things as a result of that. He's shown growth in those areas, leaned on his assistants. Spotter's done a good job with the power play. They've tug of war a little bit with Leachy and Kells in terms of helping each other on the penalty kill, knowing that we have to improve in that area. But Marco's been in command of all those things. I will tell you, it is a steep learning curve in terms of going from the American Hockey League to the National Hockey League and what's on the plate of the head coach at this level. I think he has a better understanding of being ready for it, but not quite understanding when you're in the chair how hot it is and all the moving parts associated with it. I think he's developed a better appreciation for that. I hope I'm helping him through some of those things where he can lean on me, because I've enjoyed working with him, trying to give him rope, but also trying to give him some of the experiences I've gone through, and we continue to move forward.
All right, thanks to Bruins General Manager Don Sweeney. Our Music of the Game is brought to you by Live Nation. Stain returns to Xfinity Center on Friday, September 18th with special guests Seether, Hoobastank, and Hinder. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Bruins and Capitals tied at 1 after 2. We'll check the out-of-town scores next on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
Anytime, anything. It's a great time to clean it your way. Anytime's a good time to be scrub-a-dub clean.
Scrub-a-Dub's unlimited car wash plan lets you wash anytime for one low monthly price. Wash every day or every week. Your car will always be Scrub-a-Dub clean.
Anytime, anytime's a good time to be scrub-a-dub clean.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Busy Dog Basement Technologies is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for detail.
At M&T Bank, we're continuously working to provide value to our customers, like Paul, Vice President of Sullivan Tire.
We are so happy with the relationship with M&T. Whether it's treasury services or working line of credit or providing loans for our growth, it's been nothing but collaboration that works for both parties.
See what M&T Bank can do for you at mtb.com/together. Member FDIC.
Oh boy, it's the spring sale at Reed's Ferry Sheds. 10% off every Reed's Ferry Shed this week. Delivery and installation included, but you want to order now for an early spring delivery date because 10% off ends April 12th. So pop into Reed's, open today till 5. See 16 acres of sheds on display or order online at reedsferry.com. For sale details, make the call.
Call 888-85 Sheds.
A Reed's Ferry Shed, 10% off. You got a good one.
Zoe and Beetle, middays on the Sports Hub.
Bruins and Capitals are tied at 1 at the end of 2. Elsewhere around the NHL, there are no other games in progress. Lots of other action, though, on the docket. A 3 o'clock start in New Jersey as the Devils will take on the New York Rangers today. At 5:30, the Nashville Predators, fresh off their win over the Bruins on Thursday night, they visit the Buffalo Sabres, who made some additions at the trade deadline. Sabres come into the day tied atop the Atlantic Division with Tampa, though the Lightning do have 2 games in hand. Pittsburgh Penguins, we will see them tomorrow in Pittsburgh. They are at home today as well, hosting the Philadelphia Flyers starting at 5:30. 7 o'clock start, Lightning will visit the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. The Columbus Blue Jackets, who enter the day just a point behind the Bruins for the second wild card spot. Columbus hosting Utah for a 7 o'clock face-off tonight. Winnipeg Jets take on the Vancouver Canucks also at 7 o'clock. Montreal visits the LA Kings for a 7 o'clock face-off. And then the late games, all 10 o'clock starts. Calgary Flames hosting the Carolina Hurricanes. The Islanders will visit San Jose. And the Ottawa Senators are out west as well to take on the Seattle Kraken. Here at TD Garden, the Bruins and Washington are tied at 1 after 2 periods. We'll have the third period on the way next on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
Hey, it's Corey Wade, Regional Project Director at Blue Sky Restoration Contractors. If you experience a large-scale property loss, Blue Sky is the only company you need. We coordinate the work of building and environmental consultants, architects, and engineers so you don't have to. At Blue Sky, we have a unique workflow which emphasizes timelines, communication, and project information so you're never left wondering what's next. So when disaster strikes your property, don't panic. Just visit goblusky.com and we'll take it from there. Blue Sky Restoration, restoring your property and your life for a brighter tomorrow.
Sports don't get any tougher than hockey, and trucks don't get any tougher than Ford F-Series, F-150, and Super Duty. The trucks that move mountains also move parade floats and snowmobiles. With that versatility, it's no wonder Ford F-Series is the #1 selling pickup for 49 years straight. Visit your New England Ford dealers today for great offers. A proud partner of your Boston Bruins. Sales claim based on 1977 to 2025 calendar year total sales.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch the movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Electrical contractors, do you travel to job sites every morning wondering when your materials will arrive? Granite City Electric Supply can change that feeling and have your crews working first thing every morning. Use the GCE Night Train. Overnight delivery guaranteed by 6 a.m. to most job sites throughout New England. Or pick up at one of 27 GCE Night Train depot locations, providing convenient 24/7 access to materials for pickup on your schedule. Granite City Electric, proud partner of the Boston Bruins Radio Network.
Every sandwich has bread, every burger has a bun, but these warm, golden, smooth steam buns, these are special, reserved for the very best. The Filet-O-Fish, and you can have them too.
It's Filet-O-Fish season. Get 2 for $6, or 2 10-piece McNuggets for $6, or mix and match. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey hockey fans, it's Bob Beers. If you're ready to upgrade your outdoor living space, look no further than TimberTech Decking and Railing. TimberTech is the #1 premium composite decking brand, and it's tough enough to handle anything. It looks just like real wood, but without the costly maintenance of a wood deck. It won't rot, warp, splinter, or peel, ever. And it's backed by industry-leading warranties, so your deck will last year after year after year. Connect with a local contractor or order free samples at TimberTech.com to see the TimberTech difference for yourself. TimberTech, everything wood should be.
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
It's time for This Date in Bruins History, being restored by Blue Sky Restoration Contractors.
Grizzlick, far circle, Marchand, Grizzlick shoots, he scores! Matt Grizzlick with the extra tacker on, with a bomb at the high slot, and you can hear it rocket off the bar. Bruins have tied it up on the power play at 3. Squirts to the far side with 9, far circle, Bergeron, he scores! Can you believe that? With 6.7 seconds remaining, Patrice Bergeron gets to a loose puck just inside the far circle and rifles one by Roberto Luongo. Bruins 4, Panthers 3.
This date in Bruins history taking us back to an exciting one in 2019. Those goals by Matt Grizzlick at 1923 and Patrice Bergeron at 1953. In the final minute, erasing a 3-2 deficit and giving the Bruins a 4-3 win over the Florida Panthers. This date in Bruins history is being restored by Blue Sky Restoration. Remember, if you have a property disaster, visit gobluesky.com. That's go, B-L-U sky.com. Blue Sky Restoration, restoring your property and your life for a brighter tomorrow. We're tied at 1 as we get ready to start the third period here between the Bruins and the Washington Capitals. Bruins will have a minute 42 of 5-on-4 power play time to start this third period and a chance to grab the lead.
Yeah, I know they've got one power play goal here today, but you got to take advantage of it while you can. And you know, they've put themselves in a position with some good opportunities. I'm not usually a fan of these power plays that overlap and start the period. You got clean ice, everything else, but somehow, some way, it doesn't seem like the skill guys are on when as soon as you step out on the ice.
Yeah, you don't get much of a ramp up here, right?
No.
As they lose the puck in the attacking blue corner near side, it'll be brought ahead by Wilson, trying to drive one in, blocked by McAvoy. Loose near the Boston blue line. Pasternak will bring it up ice. Boston moving from left to right here in the third period. Pasternak just inside the blue line, gets around a fallen Wilson, over to McAvoy, stepping to the left circle, turns back toward the far boards. Pasternak, center of the blue line, pass on to Geekie, right circle, goes down low to Zacha, backhander in front, got ricocheted in behind the net as Roy got in the way.
He's looking backdoor for Pasternak.
Geekie, back to McAvoy, center over to the far side, and pass by Pasternak, tipped up and over the net off of Elias Lindholm.
No stick right now for
McMichael. Yeah. McAvoy over to Pasternak, and a one-timer partially blocked by Roy, goes into the air and is gloved by Thompson.
I think it was him who got the stick from Roy got
he was the one who had lost the stick.
That's where it was blocked. Yeah, he broke it in behind the net. McMichael handed him his, and I think Roy was playing. That was wrong-handed. He was playing with that stick, but he got it in the shooting lane. As Pastrnak tried to let that one go from the left wing circle.
You give it back to McMichael. McMichael better check it because that one may have a crack in it too. 35 seconds left on the penalty here to Ethan Frank of the Capitals. Puck pulled around behind the net by Sandin, and he'll send it all the way down. Hampus Lindholm will pick it up going around behind the net. Now it'll be Minton coming through neutral ice. Arvidsson will carry it to the line. To the left side for Middlestat, taken away. And Beauvillier sends it softly down the far side.
Middlestat upset with himself that time. That was entry into the zone there as Arvidsson got that puck over to him on the left side, and he just lost the handle.
Middlestat leaves it behind for Arvidsson through center ice with some speed. Power play comes to an end. Minton from the left circle throws one to the net. Thompson stopped that. Middlestat in the far corner able to get in front of Dubois. Puck comes up the wall, and Hampus Lindholm sends a shot wide that ricochets all the way back down the ice.
Yeah, they went with two defensemen that time. Steve didn't make that power play.
Yeah, they had been going with just Lori in the earlier efforts by the second power play unit today. But both he and Hampus out there for that one. Now Jeannot at center ice. On to Corrali. Cross ice dump into the far corner. Chisholm try to play it around the boards, but Kastelik in the way of that. 2.5 minutes into this third period. Here's Corrali at the inside of the face-off circle, but his shot gets blocked and goes sailing up out of play.
Fans, WellPoint is proud to honor our hometown heroes again this season and recognize the incredible people making a difference in their communities. Know someone who deserves to be honored? Nominate them at 985thesportshub.com/heroes.
So the Bruins now 1 for 6 on the power play in this game. Capitals have gone 0 for 3 on their opportunity. Kastelik able to get one in as he reached through the legs of Farvari there to get that puck to the net. And we get a scrum breaking out.
Yeah, McAvoy was trying to get to that loose puck on the rebound chance. Kastelik had a whack at it, but McAvoy makes that going around the net, out in front. They've been around it, right? Front of the net. That's where said Zaka's goal was scored. McAvoy centered that puck, and Kastelik had a whack at it. Thompson's is really good at locating pucks down low.
Marco Sturm said before the game, team that wins the battles in front of their other net is going to win this game. Face off inside the offensive zone here for Elias Lindholm. Pastrnak and Husnadinov join him up front. McAvoy and Aspero, the D pairing. Capitals will win the face-off. Wrapped around near side. Husnadinov kicked it off the wall and able to play it away from Roy into the near corner. Pushed up the boards again. McAvoy able to keep it alive. Elias Lindholm forced into the corner by Beauvillier. Now Roy behind his net. Will send it around that far side. Duhaime coming out to his own blue line. Passing in the middle for Beauvillier. Coughed it up coming to the Boston line. Pastrnak will throw it right back up the right side for Elias Lindholm. Right deep it goes. Husnadinov able to win it down low. Got it over to Pastrnak, who fired in front. Ricocheted off to the near circle. Peak along the wall. We'll play it back in behind. Roy gets a stick in there first. Peak trying to keep it alive on the near side against Strome, and now against Wilson as well. Lindholm played it toward the slot, but it was deflected, and the Capitals will take it over from there. 16:20 to go here in the third period. Chychrun bringing towards center ice, and now peels back toward his own blue line and back into his own zone. And Farvari a chance to jump onto the bench, get a replacement. Chychrun now slowly to the red line, and a dump in from there. Swayman out into the trapezoid. To Zadorov, and moved it along to Zacha. Rink wide pass comes to Arvidsson on the right side. Tried to throw it back across the ice, but Wilson skated into the path. Chychrun has it picked off by Arvidsson along the near side boards, and Arvidsson comes down that near side. Centering pass got broken up. Middlestat had it for just a moment.
Dubois lifted his stick, took it away.
Wilson to Protas. Hampus Lindholm denies a centering pass. Middlestat gets it ahead. Arvidsson's on a break. Arvidsson shoots, scores! Victor Arvidsson gets the Bruins back into the lead.
He's been around the puck all day today. Got some good entries into the zone on that second power play unit. They talked about him. It wasn't a good game for the team in Nashville, but he might have been the best player for the Bruins in that game. He gets behind everybody, but this is picked off by Hampus Lindholm at the blue line as they try to make a pass. Wilson tries to make a pass over to the right wing side. It gets picked off. Hampus Lindholm up to Middlestat. Middlestat finds Arvidsson behind everybody, and he's able to beat Thompson low to the blocker side. Thompson, his blocker hand is his left hand. He's able to go low to that blocker side.
So Arvidsson, 18th of the season. He's got 4 in the last 5 games. And the Bruins have the lead. 15.5 minutes to go here in the third period. 2-1 the score. Geeky's pass gets redirected deep here by Steves. Capitals will regain. McMichael tipped to the blue line, but not out. Lohrei held it in, but his pass taken away by Sandin. Here's McMichael on the left side, forced back out of the Bruins zone by Lohrei. McMichael will start it up again from the Capitals line. Minton takes away a pass to the Boston Blue. To Geeky near side, moving into the middle, backhands it over to the far side. Minton circles, shot, save made by Thompson. And the rebound gathered in behind the net by Sortiv. Has trouble coming out in front as Geeky gets him tied up, but Capitals will get it cleared. Peak gloved it at the blue line, but couldn't keep it in, brings it back in offside.
Ryan, just I want to get one thing in. I should have done it earlier in the game, did not. Hockey World lost a good one. Troy Murray passing away. Troy was a captain of the Chicago Blackhawks. He was a captain for the Winnipeg Jets. Came out of the University of North Dakota. And long-time announcer in Chicago. One of the greats, really. Just humor. Smart. Was a really good player in his time. Played hard. Well respected by everybody around the league. And tough day to see him go. And his family and friends, prayers. And want to get that out there.
Yeah, we'll certainly send along our condolences. As the Bruins back on defense here. That puck knocked down in front of the net, and Zadorov will gather in. So we approach 6 minutes gone here in the third period. Zadorov standing behind his own net. Duhaime standing right out in front of Jeremy Swayman. Zadorov will send a long pass up the left side. Ustinov hands to it, cutting Pasternak. Coming down the left circle. Forced behind the net by Sandin. Ustinov keeps it moving off the near boards. Back to McAvoy for a drive. And that one goes just wide with Pasternak battling in front. Outlet pass into the neutral ice. Ovechkin tried to get it to Strome. He and Elias Lindholm tangled. Elias went down. Puck comes around near side. Ovechkin gets it back to Chychrun. Chychrun shot blocked by Ustinov, who settles it, or Chychrun rather settles it off the far boards, and it comes down. Down deep again for Strome. Beauvillier behind the net trying to wrap it around to the far side, but Bruins will take away. Pasternak coming into the neutral ice. Beauvillier, Pasternak come together. Capitals wind up with the puck. Ooh, Elias Lindholm takes a heavy hit from Chychrun. Puck was centered by Middlestat, but taken away there.
Haven't seen many big hits here in this game, but Chychrun's he's been a little frustrated.
Hampus Lindholm just shoved Wilson to the ice, drawing a cheer from the crowd here at TD Garden. Arvidsson sends a backhander toward the side of Logan Thompson's net. He's going to hold on to that one and draw a faceoff in the Washington zone when we return. 12:47 to go here in the third period. It's the Bruins 2 and the Capitals 1 here on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CRV at your local Honda dealer.
The game is on. The crew's here, and the snack spread from Big Y, oh, it's a thing of beauty. Wings that sauce the competition, platters that get major play, hand-tossed pizzas for the whole team, and that impressive 30-inch super sub. Shout out to the experts at Big Y for the assist. Are they cheering for the game or for your snacks? My question exactly, sports fans. Big Y. Nicely done.
Did you know Scrub-A-Dub Unlimited lets you wash anytime you want? The all-new Scrub-A-Dub Bedford is now open off Mystic Ave.
Anytime's a good time to be Scrub-A-Dub clean.
Baz here from Window Nation. Spring weather, unpredictable. In fact, you never know which way you'll be adjusting your thermostat unless you have the right windows. With Window Nation, you can count on your home being comfortable regardless of the weather. Their windows are customizable and energy efficient. Expert installations take just 1 day, and Window Nation products are backed by a lifetime warranty. There is no better time to upgrade than right now with Window Nation. In March, the more you buy, the more you could save, up to 50% off all window styles. Visit windownation.com for your free consultation. Do it today.
Advance your career with an MBA or specialized master's through Babson College. Join the school ranked #1 in entrepreneurship by U.S. News & World Report and #2 best college in the U.S. by the Wall Street Journal 2025. Visit babson.edu/grad programs.
Felger and Maz, afternoons on the Sports Hub.
Victor Arvidsson's breakaway has given the Bruins the lead. That is our electric play, delivered by Granite City Electric's GCE Night Train. Electrical contractors, get on board the GCE Night Train. Order your materials to be delivered overnight to the job site the following morning and save time and money. Go to GCEnighttrain.com to order. Boston up 2-1 on Washington, 12:47 to go here in the third period. Capitals will come out of their zone with possession. Wilson sending it up the right side. Zadorov beats Protas to it. Around the near boards and tipped out of the zone by Zacha. Middlestat got it to Arvidsson, stepping in for the backhand shot, and Thompson makes the save and covers.
Yeah, right up the boards. Middlestat senses that, and Arvidsson beats his man up the ice down the middle that time. Wilson on the back check trying to catch Arvidsson. Arvidsson's flying. Tried to go backhand. Thompson stayed right with him, but love that play. His only choice was to go backhand. Wilson's coming back on the forehand, so he's got to try to stuff that puck 5-hole.
Marco Sturm has talked a number of times recently about Arvidsson's battling some injury early on in the season, but healthy now.
He's got 18 goals in 49 games. He's your third leading goal scorer.
He's been on a really pretty good run here, especially in the second half, as the puck kicks out into the neutral zone.
And it's sometimes it's more about, it's not always about the goal scoring, but it's good to see you get rewarded sometimes as well.
Here's Aspero with a drive, and it got knocked down on the way to the net. Middlestat couldn't quite gather it in. Now he's got it near corner to McAvoy, stepping in front, and Thompson makes the save, and he's got it.
Yeah, and Arvidsson digging around looking for that rebound. That's what I mean. He'll go to the net. He'll dig away. He's not a big guy at all, but that's a nice give and go, right? Middlestat has been hard on pucks today. He's been good. McAvoy down low to Middlestat. And then McAvoy jumps by his check, goes right to the net, and gets this pass back for a really good opportunity there. That was sort of who got puck watching a bit. McAvoy jumps by him.
McAvoy had goal and an assist the other night in Nashville. Another opportunity. Try to add to his 6 that he's got on the year. Face off in the offensive zone. Elias Lindholm wins that. Lorai along the near boards. He's going to backhand it around behind the net, but first man to it, Duhaime in the far corner. Strome will bring out toward his own blue line, just away from a diving Pasternak who was trying to keep that puck in. Beauvillier crossing pass right back in front, kicked on goal, and Swayman made the save. It was off of Sandin's skate.
Don't know if that would have counted or not.
Think there may have been a distinct kicking motion.
No sense in taking a chance.
Sandin now from his own blue line to the red. And down the left wing side it comes. Lindholm, Hampus that is, in the near corner. Lorai moves it for Husnudinov. He'll bring it ahead to the red line. Beauvillier cut off a centering pass. 11:10 to go in regulation. Bruins with a 1-goal lead. Chychrun try to pass up ice. Missed Wilson. That's an icing.
And score a hat trick with the Bank's free checking. Get your paycheck up to 2 days early. Enjoy free ATMs through the Sum and All Point networks at no minimum balance or monthly fees. Visit avidiabank.com for details. Bank, honest to goodness, member FDIC, member DIF.
Razor Minton will take the face-off in the offensive zone here. Geekie on his left, far board. Steves set up toward the slot. Wins the draw. Geekie tried for a quick shot, blocked as the puck comes around behind the net. Chychrun skating onto it. Lofts one through center ice, and that will go for an icing as well, as Thompson, or Wilson rather, couldn't get past Zadorov to try to beat that icing.
Advantage on the last one. I know the shot was blocked, but with that face-off after an icing call, it's your choice of which side you want the face-off on. They come out with Minton on his strong side, the left wing. This time trying to get it back for Zadorov, it looks like.
Matchup against...
Probably Geeky coming across the top of the circle, though.
Right. Matchup against Dubois once again. Wins the face-off. Back to Zadorov from Geeky. One-timer gets blocked. Chychrun, far side. Geeky got it loose. Steves a turnaround drive from that left circle. Thompson made that stop. Zadorov out of the left point to Steves along the half wall. Centering pass. Minton couldn't pull the trigger.
Steves made a nice move on Dubois to get by him down the boards and try to center that puck for Minton.
Chychrun got a stick in there at the last second. Here's Geeky from Minton off the drop pass and shot up over the net. Minton along the far wall. Now to Steves. Moves it around the near boards for Peak at the right point. Back over to Zadorov, far side. Wines fires, blocked in front. And they get it along to Frank to bring the Capitals forward. On the left side, Dubois off the carom. Carries it deep. Peak forced him behind the net. Helps loosen the puck up with some stick work by Zadorov as well. And back out to neutral ice. Caps will clear it back in. Wayne chasing McAvoy back behind the net. Past the midway point of this third period. Puck comes through the slot. Near side, Janot will backhand a floater all the way down, and that's going to go for an icing against the Bruins.
Yeah, the Bruins, or I should say Washington, had a couple icings in a row. Led to some good zone time for the Bruins. I like the way they're pushing now. They'll take the icing now, but I like the way that they're pushing that offense and trying to extend this lead.
Bruins have a 7-1 shots advantage through the first half of the third period. And the go-ahead goal by Victor Arvidsson. Kastelik and Strome on the face-off. Off the face-off, it came right to Ovechkin. Couldn't get a shot off. And a shot from the far point by Roy, turned away by Swayman. Roy again will throw that one to the net. Swayman knocked it aside again. Around to the near side comes Leonard. Back to Ferravar. A deal.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. It's time for powerful performance. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, or CR-V. Hurry into your Honda dealer today.
TD Bank cardholders score special benefits at TD Garden. From pro shop discounts and free tours to free popcorn and more. These benefits were made for game time. Card eligibility restrictions and terms apply. Learn more at td.com/TD Garden Perks. TD Bank, Bank of the Boston Bruins and the Boston Celtics.
Hey, it's Sean Flaherty, managing partner at Catches Law Group. There's something about Bruins hockey, toughness, tradition, and pride that runs deep in New England. That same mindset is how Catches Law Group was built for over 40 years. We've been this region's hometown law firm, fighting for our neighbors and recovering over $3 billion for the people who count on us. We are real trial lawyers who deliver real results. Because when the pressure's on, you need a team built to battle. Visit catcheslaw.com to schedule your free consultation today.
Big on flavor, big on comfort, and big on value. The 99 restaurants' $14.99 big deal meals are now available every day, all day. So hurry in today or every day for our juicy chopped sirloin. You gotta love the nines.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. It's time for powerful performance. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, or CR-V. Hurry into your Honda dealer today.
The Pats play on the Sports Hub.
Don't miss a moment of Bruins hockey here at TD Garden. Get notified when last-minute tickets become available and grab your seat to all the action. Sign up for Bruins last-minute ticket alerts and be ready when opportunities pop up. Opt in now at bostonbruins.com/ticket alerts. 9:29 to play here in the third period. Bruins with a 2-1 lead over Washington. Boston trying to make it 12 wins in a row here on home ice. A face-off in the defensive zone to the right of Jeremy Swayman. He has stopped 18 out of 19 Capitals shots to this point. Bruins with 29 shots on Logan Thompson, who has stopped 27. Elias Lindholm stands in against Pierre-Luc Dubois in the near circle. Lindholm wins the draw. McAvoy will backhand it around the far side. Hustadinov flying the zone, but Chychrun cuts off that puck in front of the Bruins bench. McAvoy will play it back over to the near side now for Aspero. Through the neutral ice, helped forward by Elias Lindholm. Thompson bats it away toward the near side circle. Around the far wall to come to Pasternak. Back to Aspero with the left point. With a shot that goes off the backboards, coming toward the near side for McAvoy. Turns with it out of the circle, coming toward the slot, and couldn't get off a shot before it was knocked away, and Dubois moves it back the other direction. Wilson chasing a bouncing puck toward the far corner. Sends one all the way across ice, and it tips off of Ovechkin and out of play.
It's a good hustle back, right? McAvoy makes a nice move on the half wall in the offensive zone. Kind of a spin move, tries to take this puck strong to the front of the net. Gets converged on by a couple of Capitals, but the Bruins are all back in time. You know, you're all coming back through the middle of the ice, protect the middle, get your stick in the passing lane.
Face off left of Swayman here. Mittelstadt able to pull it back behind the net. Peak around the near boards. Tipped out by Arvidsson. And that one's going to go a little too far. Icing is the call. Back into the Bruins zone for the faceoff.
Yeah. You know, a little different on that one. We talked the other day, there were a couple face-off wins in your defensive zone. You end up taking icing.
Right.
You know, Arvidsson does the right thing there. He chips that puck out of the zone, and it's just a redirect. You know, unfortunately, it goes all the way down. But face-off win there by the Bruins, making sure they're on the same page. You know, you talk about it before every face-off, no matter where the draw is, especially in their offensive and defensive zones.
Off this one, McMichael, and a knock back toward Chychrun. Over to that far side, shot off the back wall and into the near corner. Zacha and Peak both there. They get it into the middle here for Zadorov, who lobs it out of the zone. And that bouncer is going to just make it far enough for an icing.
Yeah, Arvidsson saw what I saw.
Chychrun was not exactly at full speed.
He's a very good skater.
As we have seen a number of times tonight.
When he wants to be.
Yeah,
that was a tough one.
Yeah. Oh, another face-off.
They're going to win another face-off.
In the D zone. Zacha against Strome. Strome won it, but it squirts over the stick of Sandin and rolls out of the zone. The Capitals getting back on side. Sandin dumps it back in. Zadorov in the far corner got knocked down. Still able to play it along to Peak, and he'll send out.
Yeah, so, all right, that's 3 in a row. They'll wave this one off. Chychrun stopped skating for that one. But you know, you don't want to get into that mode. 8 minutes left with a 1-goal lead. We're just dumping everything out of the zone.
Right.
They needed a line change. So
on the near circle, free puck to Minton. He will backhand it up ice, and Geekie chasing, and they're going to whistle that one on ice.
They got to get back into the mode of making plays here. I think actually Minton was trying to make a play there and just missed Geekie with that long backhand pass across ice. But got to get back into making plays coming out of their own zone.
Still 7:48 left. Bruins with a 1-goal lead.
They had a push earlier this period. We say the momentum, it was after, a lot of it was after the goal was scored, and they had a couple really good shifts in the offensive zone. Now they've taken at least 3 in a row here.
Far circle. Caps win that face-off, and Riemsdyk laid it down toward the corner. Beauvillier and Lohrei along the end wall. Puck squirted out in front. McMichael from the far circle, saved by Swayman. And it'll come across the ice out of the reach of Chisholm. He dumps it right back in from the neutral zone. Hampus Lindholm with some space. Pass up the left side. Minton couldn't get it cleanly into the attack zone. Chisholm will skate back toward the near side. Chip and chase down the left wing boards. Hampus Lindholm gets in front of Protas. Back of the net, comes toward the near side corner. On the wall, Chisholm winds up with possession. Gives along for Dubois, shouldered by Lohrei. Crossing pass picked off at Pasternak at the far circle. Will skate it out to the red line. Deals it across near side to Geekie. Geekie looking back across the ice for Pasternak. That was knocked away. Aspero keeps into the far point. Pasternak in the left circle. Pushed out toward the blue line by Wilson. And Protas will bring forward here for Washington. Sends it softly toward the left wing corner. Aspero reverses it toward McAvoy, who gets knocked down in the corner by Dubois. Aspero stepping back behind his net. Shoved aside by Protas toward the near side. And Wilson able to win it, but Elias Lindholm takes away, and Pasternak will start forward. Right side, McAvoy Send it back across the ice. Chased down by Husnedina. Wilson put his shoulder into Pasternak along the end board. 6:15 to go here in regulation. Protas untouched along for Strome. From the red line, he sends a bouncer in on Swayman, and Jeremy's going to be forced to cover that one up.
Yeah, they're going to allow. I was wondering if they'd allow the line change, and they will. Vans Hockey season's the perfect time to get a high-efficiency Peerless boiler. Be ready and start saving now. Find the Peerless boiler that's right for your home or business, and a list of local installers at peerlessboilers.com. Remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boilers.
6:06 to go here in the third period. Sean Corrali getting ready to take on Strome on this faceoff. Far circle down to our left, and Corrali wins it. Zadorov behind the net to Peak, coming to the near corner with a pass up ice. Kastelik gathers it into the attack zone, stumbles as he tried to stop near circle and lost it. Chychrun will come back the other way. Flips it to the left side for Leonard. Stops along the near boards into the middle for Chychrun. Off balance, one-timer effort. Ended up going wide. Here's Leonard out near the blue line. Kastelik blocks his effort, and that one kicked back out through center. 5:35 to go here in the third. Sandin skates it to his own blue line. Right side finds Leonard with steam into the Boston zone. Lohrei and Leonard on the near side circle. Puck to Middlestat. Here's Arvidsson off the cross ice pass. Sweeps it around Chisholm. They go to the end boards. Zaka involved there as well against Sortif. Into that far corner, Sortif able to get it along for Chychrun. And now McMichael to Beauvillier across the line. Tried to return it to him. And overskated. Middlestat.
Not a bad
Zaka
idea.
back the other way.
They just didn't execute that.
Zaka went for a drop pass near the blue line, and nobody was there. Now McMichael brings the Capitals back forward to Beauvillier on the left wing side. Stops along the hash marks. Squeezed to the boards by McAvoy. Around the far side wall to come to Van Riemsdyk to hold in. On to Chisholm near side. Chisholm plays back in behind the net. McMichael shoved by Zaka. Ring pass kicked away by Hampus Lindholm. Husnedi now got it to the blue line, and he'll pick it up from there and carry it forward by himself. Coming down the right wing circle. Goes behind the net. Chisholm in tow. 4:15 to go here in regulation.
It's a good jump today, Husnedi pass.
He can scoot. I mean, certainly.
But he's elusive as well. You know, he's quick, and then he's got that quick stop and change direction.
Pasternak centering one for Husnedinov, kicked wide. Far corner. Played along for Protas, and he'll backhand it out against Zadorov. Aspero coming back to get it, with Wilson chasing him in behind the net. 3:45 left. Bruins leading by 1. Aspero hands off to Jeannot to carry up the near right wing side. All the way into the Washington zone. Puck at his backhand as he goes behind the net against Sandin. Shoved to the corner. And that frees the puck up to Leonard. Lob toward the Boston end. McAvoy. Step ahead of Ovechkin. Working him over with that stick from behind. Geekie will bring the Bruins forward. And behind the Washington net. Jeannot able to keep it loose for Minton, who's now tied up back there. Minton pulls it free. Angles off the boards back to McAvoy at the right point. Over to the far side for Hampus. Here's Geekie back out near the blue line. Throws one to the net. It got all the way through. Thompson made the pad save. And ricocheted around in front. Geekie able to keep it in. Along the near side circle. Stepping in with a pass in front for Minton. Broken up. And the puck will be cleared by Ovechkin, and needs to get to the bench and does. 2:45 to go here in regulation. Peak steps back in behind Jeremy Swayman. Zadorov going to carry it forward here toward the red line and dumps in with Beauvillier coming over to try to get a hit. Arvidsson goes behind the net for Zaka. Skip through him. Beauvillier in the far corner. Sends an outlet pass. Faravari coming forward. McMichael in toward the middle. Strome peels back toward the near side. Gives to Beauvillier out near the center of the blue line. Harassed by Middlestat. Gets it deep. McMichael behind the net. To the near side boards, and Roy at the hash marks. Backhands it down low. Strome brings in behind. Over to that far side. Net empty now at the Washington end. Ferravari near side circle. Gives to Roy in the corner. Beauvillier gives it right back to him. Roy back to Beauvillier for a one-time drive from the center of the blue line. And Swayman cradles that for the whistle.
The Bruins sorted that out pretty well. They needed the whistle right there as well. You're going to get it. They think that there's going to be a commercial timeout, but there's under 2 minutes to go. So they're in the third period, there is no commercial timeout. Swayman was on his way to the bench to get a little drink of water, but it waved him back. And unless there's a timeout called by either team.
So 1:52 to go. Bruins up 2-1. Washington with the extra skater on and the faceoff inside the Boston defensive zone. It'll be Elias Lindholm against Dylan Strome. Feels like Strome's taken every faceoff of this third period. This one won by the Bruins, wrapped around the far side, tipped out of the zone by Husnudinov. Capitals come back in front of their empty net. Chychrun will give it to Strome toward the red line. Chips it toward the net. Walker aside by Swayman. Toward the back of the net. Strome couldn't get it. Hampus Lindholm gets it into the far corner. He'll send a long outlet pass for Pasternak. Knocked away by a diving Ovechkin. Pasternak chases it behind the Washington empty net. Kicks it back onto his stick. Wilson puts a shoulder into him. Chychrun gets possession and lifts it out of the Washington zone.
That was a heck of an effort by Ovechkin right there.
Off the near glass and into neutral ice, and it gets through everyone, and that'll be an icing here against Boston with 1:08 to play.
And now Washington has to make a decision. Their guys are a little tired. The Bruins guys are a little tired, but the Bruins can't take a timeout here. Only the Capitals can.
Right.
They're gonna call it.
Now with 68 seconds left. Mentioned that effort by Ovechkin, the 40-year-old. He
might have saved a goal there.
Yeah.
I mean, Pasternak was behind everybody.
So the Capitals use their timeout with 68 seconds to go. Both teams gather at their respective benches. And stay connected to the Bruins all season. Get the latest news, team updates, ticket offers, and exclusive promotions straight to your inbox. Sign up for the official Boston Bruins newsletter at bostonbruins.com/newsletter today.
You know, interesting. You want to go on the side that's the strongest for the center, and Washington gets to pick which side this faceoff is going to go. But you know, usually you see Ovechkin, if a faceoff's in the right-hand side, he's going to be setting up for a one-timer over in the left wing circle, and that's exactly where they're going. I thought at first they were going to come over to the near side. You know, Wilson can run a little interference. Him and Protas, big bodies in the middle. And Ovechkin set up right in the slot, trying to get this shot away if they win the draw. But if the Bruins win the draw, they got to be on the same page. They should have some space on the weak side to be able to get that puck out of the zone. There's no point man over on the left side. Everybody's up for Capitals.
Face-off win comes right to Ovechkin, but couldn't get off the shot. As McAvoy will play it out of the zone. Chychrun settles it at his own blue line. We hit a minute to go here in regulation. Dump in comes all the way around the near boards. McAvoy will back it up. To the back of the net, Dubois locked up with Hampus Lindholm. Strome pulls it free. Back to the point. Chychrun walks to the center of the blue line. Gives it to his right. Gets it right back from Strome. Now near circle. Ovechkin along the wall. Looking in front. McAvoy blocked that. Backhanded in front. And that one's going to sail up and out of play off a deflection.
Elias Lindholm got a piece of the second one. McAvoy on the first one. Elias Lindholm on the second one. It's like neither team going to make a line change here. Stick with Elias Lindholm to take this face off on his strong side.
37.3 seconds left.
Now Ovechkin try to come across the top of the circle.
And the puck pops to him along the near wall. Ovechkin comes into the corner. Now brings back to the hash marks. Throws it in the net. Swayman with a pad save. Elias Lindholm gets it on to Pasternak coming out of the zone. Flips it back to Elias on the right side. Drags around Chychrun and scores into the empty net. With 23.2 to go, the Bruins have a 3-1 lead.
Good job on the face-offs. Good work by the defense, making sure you make the right play. And Pasternak doesn't try to force it on this empty net. There's a nice pad save there made by Swayman with the left pad as they try to filter one in front. And Pasternak makes this pass up. And Lindholm with good patience to draw the puck around the outstretched stick of Chychrun and send it in the empty net. That's a good effort win.
20 seconds left for Pasternak. Snapped a 3-game point drought earlier today with an assist. Gets his second of the game. Elias Lindholm's 12th goal of the season. As Frank tries to shoot toward Swayman. That one blocked toward the near side boards. Peak will get it. And he will lift it out of the zone. And that is going to do it as the Bruins make it 12 wins in a row here on TD Garden Ice. With a pair of goals in the third period for Victor Arvidsson and Elias Lindholm. And they win it by the final score of 3-1. We'll be back to recap it in just a moment here on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Bruins Radio Network, driven by the versatile Honda CR-V at your local Honda dealer.
The sun is out, the birds are chirping, and the open road is calling. Bring on the spring at the Honda Spring Event and take that road trip you've been dreaming of. Now's the time to check out the Honda Civic and HR-V from Honda, the 2025 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value Brand.
Based on 2025 Consumer Choice Awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit KBB.com for more information.
Hi, this is Andrew Peak. I'm excited to be teaming up with the Shaws and Star Market Foundation and 98.5 The Sports Hub for Feeding the Puck for Families. Every time me or one of my teammates feeds the puck this season to help score a goal, the Shaws and Star Market Foundation Nourishing Neighbors Initiative will donate $100 to help end hunger here in our local communities. Since its inception, Nourishing Neighbors has raised more than $250 million across the country to ensure our neighbors have the nutrition needed to thrive locally. Every time we feed the puck for a goal, the Shaws and Star Market Foundation will make a donation of $100 to the Greater Boston Food Bank to help end hunger up to $50,000. To learn more about feeding the puck for families, visit 985thesportshub.com/feedthepuck.
Now at Wendy's, you can go big, biggie, or biggier. With our new $4, $6, or $8 meal, you choose your deal, as you should. Sorry, I get fired up when I'm talking deals. More biggie options, more of what you really want at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. It's time for powerful performance. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, or CR-V. Hurry into your Honda dealer today.
TD Bank's here for an assist with a special checking and savings account offer for new customers. Perfect for fans of the Bruins. Learn more at td.com/garden offer or stop by any TD Bank location in New England. Terms and eligibility apply. TD Bank, Bank of the Boston Bruins.
So I'm running late for a hugely important meeting. Of course, traffic is bad. And then I got rear-ended. The timing was inconvenient. But I have to say, safety insurance made the claims process unbelievably convenient. I simply uploaded pics of my car. The claims adjuster sent me back an estimate. I even got